Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
And here we go on a Thursday, attacking and dominating our way to 9 a.m. every single weekday morning, right here on The Fan. Brandon Beam, the General Bobby Carpenter, and of course our fearless leader and producer, Mark the Shark. Bob, we've navigated our way here to a Thursday. What's going on, man? Good to talk to you.
Oh, not too much, Beam. Just excited to be on here with you on this Thirsty Thursday. Did you get the yard mode yesterday?
I did get the yard mode yesterday. Thanks for asking.
Well, you had a window.
Yep, I sure did. So
glad you took advantage of it.
My plan yesterday, if you weren't listening, I was going to do it when my mom was here yesterday because she was watching William. Didn't get that to happen because the grass was too wet because it had rained in the morning. So he took his afternoon nap, went down, no problem at all. He crushed his afternoon nap, which is awesome, like 2 hours, really good. I was super pumped about that. Mara got home, and I'm like, hey, I don't know if it's supposed to rain later on. I'm not sure, which it turned out to be a just beautiful evening in Central Ohio. And I'm like, I got to do some stuff. I got to make sure the grass is mowed just because I don't want it to get too long. So I mowed the grass. I weed whacked too. Like I did that. I was feeling good about that. Kind of trimmed up the edges a little bit along the sidewalks and a driveway and just some of the loose weeds. So I got that done. And then I trimmed our hedges along the side of our house. It was so nice outside. I'm like, man, I don't really want to be done with this. Like there's still stuff to do.
It was pretty humid, Beam.
Was it?
Oh, I don't know.
It felt pretty good to me yesterday when I was like
that beer waiting on you.
4:30. I did have had a couple of soda pops afterwards. But yeah, I got that done. I felt really good about myself. Felt really good. I put like an hour and a half into yard work yesterday. It was
good.
Yeah, it's looking pretty solid right now. I was super pumped. I got the weed whacker out and was able to kind of trim like the front a little bit too. And then those hedges, man, grew a crazy amount, I feel like, over the last couple of weeks. And they're like right along the side of our house in the driveway.
Yeah.
And they kind of
starting to drape over.
Starting to get a little crazy. So I made sure that happened.
A little crazy.
So I got that done, which was nice. Then I had a soda pop afterwards, a couple of them. Hung out. William was like playing with his water table. Theo was drinking out of it at the same time. Everybody was having a great grand time. And then Meredith's like, I only got one more day to wake up with kids because her last day of school was today. So I mean, everybody was having a terrific day yesterday. What about you, buddy? How was your Wednesday?
It was pretty good. We can get into some of the stuff. My son, he had his last soccer game. They have like one more Friday, but they play academy style, so they have like a pool of players, and he's not rostered for it. So he was kind of salty. They ended up winning. We'll get into some of the details of that later. That was pretty good, and a little meeting yesterday at Grandview Cafe, which was nice. A couple tequilas at lunch, Beam. That always sets it up. And
nice little pop to start your day.
So I wouldn't say start the day. Got a little workout in, went over, had some good conversations at the Woody, had to get some stuff set up and trying to schedule some things out. Beam, it's never easy trying to do some stuff. Talk to our guy Schleggs a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's all fired up about what he's got going on and everything else. So yeah, it was a pretty solid little day, to say the least.
Good, man. Glad you had a great little Wednesday. I did as well. Should be a nice Thursday on tap for us, too. We got an awesome show lined up for you here this morning. NCAA, they're getting ready to settle the House case, so we'll get into that coming up here. The Big Ten's in on it. The Big 12's in on it. ACC is in on it. Now the NCAA, like the Board of Governors or Board of Regents or whatever they call them, the overlords of college.
Council of Cardinals.
Yeah, the Council of Cardinals. They're going to settle that bad boy. So we'll get into that coming up here in our next segment. The new NCAA football game is going to be awesome. There are some details about that now leaking out before its July release date. So we'll get into that coming up here a little bit later in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll do a post-spring power ranking. Where do the Buckeyes land on that? Going to get into some college football stuff in the 7 o'clock hour. Dave Biddle of Bucknuts, he's going to join the program at 7:35. And then Albert Breer, he's going to join us coming up here at 8:05, a couple hours away from right now. We can talk about the Marv situation and what's going on with Fanatics, all kinds of stuff going across the NFL with OTAs going on as well. So we'll get into that with Albert coming up here, like I said, around 8:05, a little bit later on this morning. Before we do anything else today, it is Thursday. It's the 23rd day of May, 2024. Time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Doc Bob, what do you got lined up for us today, buddy?
Doc Bob. It is Thursday, May 23rd, the 144th day of the year, 222 days remaining. So the 222 left in the count. In 2024, the state's 1785, Ben Franklin announces the invention of the bifocal beam.
I was waiting on it. Are you nearsighted or farsighted? Both. That's why I invented the bifocal.
I'm 99% sure that is not the real Ben Franklin. One of the classic lines. I mean, who hires Ben Franklin as a male stripper? That's fantastic. The state's 1788, South Carolina becomes the 8th state to ratify the United States Constitution. 1926, Hack Wilson. Shark, you remember watching him?
I never watched him, Bob, but I know all about him. He was only 5'6".
That's why I called him Hack.
Yeah.
He was hacked off. A hacksaw. Becomes the first player to hit a home run off the Wrigley Field scoreboard.
Nice.
There you go. That's almost 100 years ago, Beam.
Right over that ivy.
Absolutely. This date, 1934, there was a sad ending to two of the most famous bank robbers in American history. Bonnie and Clyde were ambushed by police and killed in Bentonville Parish, Louisiana. Too bad for those two kids.
Yep.
You ever seen Pulp Fiction, Beam?
Oh, of course.
With the little Bonnie and Clyde reference there at the end.
Uh-huh.
I love it. Absolutely tremendous.
Be cool.
Be cool.
Be cool, honey bunny.
We're all a bunch of Fonzies here. What's Fonzie like?
Which one's your wallet?
Exactly. Reach on in there. This day, 1965, the Beach Boys hit number 1 with Help Me Rhonda. Help me get her out of my heart, Shark.
I like Hurt Me Rhonda better.
No, that's, you know what? Depending on what you're into, Beam. Rihanna had a song about that.
Ooh.
It's 2 letters. Mm-hmm. Maybe and in the middle. S&M? I'm not sure. You tell me. And then this date, 1996. One of the great error messages that you'll ever see on your computer that you'll always love. The first version of JavaScript is released.
Oh, yeah.
If I could tell you the amount of times between now and 1996 that I had an error message saying that it isn't supported by Java or Java this or Java that.
I need the Adobe
I thought that there was going to be a cup of coffee that produced through my screen. There was so much Java in that thing, Beam. I didn't like it. Some birthdays today. This date, 1883, Douglas Fairbanks. He was the king of Hollywood back in the day, Beam. He was a star of silent films.
All right.
Yeah, so not just being bound and gagged, but that was before they had audio to him.
He didn't have a lot to say.
He didn't. This date on 1912, John Payne, one of the stars. My wife really loves this movie. I think she enjoys the original as much as the remake. John Payne, one of the stars on Miracle on 34th Street.
Right. The Post Office Department was created by the Second Continental Congress on July 26, 1776. The first Postmaster General was Benjamin Franklin. Furthermore, the United States postal laws and regulations make it a criminal offense to willfully misdirect mail or intentionally deliver it to the wrong party. Every one of these letters is addressed to Santa Claus. The Post Office has delivered them. Therefore, the Post Office Department, a branch of the federal government, recognizes this man, Kris Kringle, to be the one and only Santa Claus.
Pretty good testimony there, Beam. You like Miracle on 34th Street?
I've never seen it.
Ever? Not even the remake?
No, I've never seen it. Uh-oh.
Are you serious, Beam?
Yeah.
Get out of your
serious, Clark?
Get out of your silo.
Yeah. I've seen Christmas Vacation 1,000 times. Never seen Miracle on 34th
What
Street.
about Christmas with the Cranks?
I have seen that. That was dumb.
You see Miracle on 34th Street, Shark?
Oh, sure.
It's one of his favorite movies, isn't it?
Natalie Wood. No, it's not one of my
You
favorites.
like the older one or the new one?
Natalie Wood. I haven't seen the new one.
Oh.
Don't know anything about the new one.
Yeah, they redid it. They redo everything now. I like the old one originally.
Is that the one where they say Rosebud at the end? What's that movie?
No, that is...
Isn't that what That's with Santa Claus in it, though, right?
Citizen Kane.
Okay.
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane, Miracle on 34th Street. Very
Same
similar.
thing. They're black and white, baby.
Yeah, I got that going for me.
Colorless movies. Mm-hmm. Turning 68 today, 4-time MLB Manager of the Year, Buck Showalter.
Ooh.
What's your go-to ice cream flavor? What's your favorite sherbet color? Do you notice more and more that you look out the window of a plane and there seems to be a plane flying by you, like real close? Remember salt tablets? Who came up with this stuff? They call it a foul line anyway. It should be a fair line, right? A nice cup of orange sherbet's not refreshing. Helps your palate before a meal or after a meal.
What was that from?
It was just a montage of clips of him saying funny things. Do you remember salt tablets?
I didn't take them. My dad did. My dad would tell us about them all the time.
I remember them back in the 60s and 70s. Yeah. What were they for?
So the purpose of the salt tablet, that was before Gatorade, is they're like, hey, you lose all of your water when you work out. You need to retain it. The problem is, like, you have to drink an inordinate amount of water if you're consuming that much salt because, like, you're losing the electrolytes in your body. But really, if you don't have enough water, it's just going to dry you out and cramp you up more. So, like, they would give everybody salt tablets. They would try to give them to us at Ohio State. I was like, I'm not taking these. But if you lose a lot of weight, you need it, but you have to drink a lot of water with it to then retain it.
So you can't just eat the salt tablet.
Yeah, the salt tablet in and of itself isn't doing anything.
I can remember my 7th and 8th grade gym teacher telling us, like, we'd go run the mile, and he'd say, don't drink any water when you're finished. You might cramp. Yeah.
The water causes the cramping.
Yeah.
That's where they found it at the scene of the crime, the sweat. So that's what's causing the cramping. You don't want to sweat. Well, I guess the salt tablets, if you don't sweat from that, you'll die of heat exhaustion. Maybe not cramp, though, so that's good. Yeah, I've never seen a dead man cramp, Shark. So.
You know, we learn a lot. We learn a lot over the years.
We have evolved, yes.
I don't know. I mean, they did those salt tablets.
I can't wait for 30 years from now what we're doing today. Be like, that was dumb.
Hey, you get that burn, you rub that stick of butter on it, Beam.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
That might come back in vogue.
It absolutely will. Mitch Albom, long-time Detroit Free Press writer, turning 66. Former United States Marine, host of The Price is Right, turning 66 today, Mr. Drew Carey.
Hey, Drew, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, sure, sit down.
It's kind of hard for me to talk about, but I think my boss might be coming on to me, and I'm not sure what to do.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was staring at your breasts. This is sexual harassment, and I'm Drew Carey. It's important to define what is and isn't appropriate behavior in the workplace. The difference can be something as subtle as tone of voice.
Yes, ma'am? You wanted a package delivered?
Yeah, just one question. Can I get it overnight?
Change the tone of voice, and...
Yes, ma'am? You wanted a package delivered?
Yeah, just one question. Can I get it overnight?
I don't know.
If I can't get it overnight, can you guarantee it by morning?
Do you like to do it yourself? That's so good. That's courtesy of the Drew Carey Show, Cleveland Rocks.
I wonder if the 40-year-old virgin ripped that scene.
Do you like to do it yourself? Change the tone of voice.
A big trunk.
Tone is everything, exactly. I like to put my bike in it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what year Drew Carey took over for Bob Barker?
Oh, it was a long time. It was a long time, hasn't it been? It's been like 15 years?
Yeah, I was going to say 2005.
I'll say like 2010.
So split the difference, basically, 2007. It's been almost 20 years since he took it over. He declined it initially. He declined the role to start off with. Jewel Kilcher, better known as Jewel, turning 50. Who will save your soul, Shark? That's the question I have for you. Aaron Donald turning 33, the 8-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Some passings today. John D. Rockefeller, passing away in 1937, Standard Oil tycoon. And Jose Lima, 13 seasons, long-time closer, passing away on this date, 2010. Shark, I always remember him playing with the Indians, but I keep looking at that every time. He didn't.
No.
That's a false memory in my mind.
I remember him with the Astros. Lima time.
That's right. Didn't he get some domestic assault stuff on him? Maybe,
I don't know about that.
I'm going to have to go look through.
Are you misattributing that to someone else?
I think I am. I'm trying to go look through. Who was the Tribe's closer back in the mid-90s?
Mid-90s was Jose Mesa.
Jose Mesa.
Yes, you're right.
That's right. Jose Mesa. 2-syllable second.
Yep.
Okay, so that's who I'm remembering, and he did have that as well. Some holidays observances. It is Eat More Fruits Than Vegetables Day. It's the Thursday before Memorial Day week.
William will do that every day.
Absolutely. International Turtle Day. There's racist turtles. We might have to stop that.
Yep.
Lucky Penny Day, National Taffy Day, World Crohn's and Colitis Day, and World Turtle Day. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date. Thursday, May 23rd, the 144th day of the year, number 222, the triple deuce remaining in 2024.
Very well done on that, General. As always, NCAA getting ready to settle their massive NIL case against them. We'll do that next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Right now, we're not tracking any major crashes across your central Ohio roadways. We are seeing busy traffic out on 33 in the Plain City area. Also on I-71 coming in from the far south side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors, voted by Columbus homeowners as the leading and most trusted window brand. Find out why at PellaColumbus.com or at their brand new Polaris showroom.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders and a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check him out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
Want a great choice with great value? It's great to drive Honda and save thousands with low 1.9% financing. All your favorite Honda models are in stock. Save big on a great selection of cars, SUVs, and trucks, like the new 2024 Honda Ridgeline, now with low 1.9% financing. There's never been a better time to buy a new Honda. Search your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details for well-qualified buyers. Offer ends 7/8/24.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Bishop and Friends.
They used it as a rallying point and it worked for them. And
so you're saying they leaked themselves? That wouldn't be the weirdest thing he's ever done.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Whether you're popping the question or ready to say I do, there's only one true jeweler to shop for your one true love. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. As a true jeweler, we not only have luxury designer collections to meet your bridal needs, but we also have talented in-house designers who can create something truly one of a kind. For more than 75 years, our expert staff has been caring for couples just like you and providing the absolute lowest prices guaranteed. Visit the Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or Easton Town Center. The possibilities are endless.
There's a little slice of heaven in a mountain town escape. A pace of life that's less hurried, more authentic, where people greet you with a smile and experiences feel down to earth, yet elevated. From Appalachian art to wineries and craft breweries, live music to a lively spirit. This is West Virginia. We call it almost heaven. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Low Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Low Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Low Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are tracking a mix of clouds and sun out there today. We will be looking at some non-severe thunderstorms today. Temperatures get up to about 79 today. Tonight we drop back down to about 65. Tomorrow look for partly sunny skies with highs in the lower 80s. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Panic and passion. Is that a motivational quote or the title of an adult romance novel? You're listening to Morning Juice.
Thursday edition of the program. Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. And we're now on the YouTube. That's right. Go to youtube.com. You can search 97.1 The Fan. Our live stream will pop up. You can look at Bob and I, and then when Shark chimes in, you can see him on there as well. Subscribe to our channel because you can watch every single live show that's going to be on here. So that's pretty awesome. You can also download the podcast after the show, stream it live on any of your streaming platforms. We're everywhere. We're everywhere.
All over the place, Beam. We'll just incept your mind in multiple platforms and in multiple ways.
Yeah, for sure, man. You can hop in the chat, too. We've been enjoying that.
The YouTube chat, I will say, has dramatically improved the quality of this program.
I don't know how much longer it's going to stay like that, but for now, we have a nice gathering of people in there.
Oh, it's tremendous.
Very nice gathering.
This is where the folks come to gather.
Oh, yeah. It's like a community garden, the Morning Juice.
That's nice.
Everybody just having nice conversations on a daily basis. The NCAA Board of Governors voted yesterday evening to agree to settlement terms in the House v. NCAA and related antitrust cases, joining 3 power conferences. So I saw the Big 12 and the ACC got on this on Tuesday. Yesterday afternoon, the Big 10 joined them, and then all of a sudden the NCAA did as well. The remaining 2 defendants named in the lawsuit, the SEC and the Pac-12, are expected to vote to approve the terms as well later on this week. I just wonder, what's that decision-making like for the Pac-12 right now? I mean, I know they just hired a new commissioner, but there are only 2 schools left in there. So, I mean, is it just a 3-way call?
I would say, hey, I'm going to call, just patch me in.
Yeah, just patch me through. Like, that's the decision-making process.
They actually hired a new commissioner. They have a commissioner for the league?
They do have a new commissioner for the league, yeah.
So,
Shark, what is her name? So they just hired her a couple of months ago.
Who was it before? Yormark?
Yeah. No, he's at the Big 12.
It's Klemenchikov.
Kliavkov.
Whatever, Klemenchikov.
Teresa Gould.
Julia Goulia?
The Pac-12 Board of Directors, so this goes from February 19th. The Pac-12 Board of Directors today announced that Teresa Gould has been appointed as the new commissioner of the Pac-12.
Board of Directors?
That's a great question. Succeeding Commissioner George Kliavkov, effective March 1st.
So why did they fire George?
Just
because their conference folded?
It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his problem.
They have a crappy product to sell. Nobody watches it. It's actually not a terrible product. You just have it.
It's a pretty good product last year.
Yeah, where no one cares about it. You have apathy in the states that you reside in. Nobody cares about your product.
I'm wondering too. I mean, we talked about the payouts and everything, and how like 60% is going to come from the Power 5.
So the Pac-12 still gets they still have like their revenue model for the next couple years, and they won that lawsuit of where everybody has to pay their exit fees and everything. They were just like hoping it would dissolve and go away.
Good for Wazoo and Oregon State then.
Fought to get that. They won in court, and so then they're still existing, and so now, they've got to pay them. How about that?
Yeah, good for them.
So they'll have the money.
NCAA board vote was expected, but perhaps looms more symbolically, it says here. The board voting in favor of the settlement that would allow schools to pay players represents a formal severing of decades-long tether to unpaid amateurism. The settlement term states that the NCAA will provide more than $2.7 billion to former athletes over the next decade for back damages related to the association's NIL restrictions, according to sources. I do wonder, too, I mean, I know that they're going to pay over the next decade. I don't know for a fact how long this is going to go back. Like, I don't know if this is for the last 10 years.
Because it said for past issues, correct? So that implies to me that there are former players that are going to get paid. Now, someone said it was over, I saw that 10-year period. I don't know if that's 10 years moving forward and then a 10-year look back as well. I don't know that. It'll be interesting to kind of see. I heard Bo. I was getting out of my silo yesterday. I heard Bo. He had some lady on talking about this. I'm not sure. Shark, you could probably look up who.
I think she worked for Front Office Sports.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Her name is escaping me.
Mm-hmm.
But they were talking to her about this and, the different implications of everything that was going on. And her thing was, she's like, well, I'm hoping this was like the NCAA's plan. Their thought process behind it was that, hey, they're going to get this settlement. Everybody's going to agree to it. Even though the players, she's like, the main thing, they still don't really have any representation in this.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to agree, get their money and stuff, but it's so fragmented and fractured. It's not like they are going to agree to this going forward. And what their hope is that they'll agree to, like, this will be come into place. They can take this to the Congress then, this signed resolution, and say, hey, look at this. We tried. We're going to make things right. Put some legislation in play to eliminate the lawsuits. And this is what I wanted to tell that lovely lady.
Amanda Kristovich was
Amanda Kristovich, George Kliakoff's friend.
Sports business reporter, college sports for Front Office Sports.
And I would like to tell her this. Say if she's an attorney on there.
It didn't say.
Because anybody that would tell you, a constitutional attorney, the way that the way that the U.S. government, we're going to learn something today. Shark, you love to learn something new every day. Do you know what, when it comes to creating and enforcement, like the circle of law in the United States, do you know what each branch of the government, what their responsibility is?
Yes, the House proposes the law. They're the lawmaker.
Yep.
Then the Senate has to get on board, and if they both agree and pass it, the executive branch or the president can veto it.
And then once the president, let's say they decide to pass it, their job is to then what with the law?
Sign it into law.
Sign it into law, and they enforce the law to make sure that it is correctly administered. Now, you could argue
at a federal level.
At a federal level. It's the same thing at a state level.
Mm-hmm.
You just take I don't know any state. Now, you can call whatever your Congress is something different. In Ohio, we call it the General Assembly.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day, Beam.
But each state has a House and a Senate.
That's what I'm saying. Each state has their own process, whatever it is. But they have a legislative and executive. And so Congress creates the laws. The executive branch, House or the president, governor, whoever that is, signs them into law and then administers the law. What is the court's role in that, Shark?
You are saying that the executive branch is the enforcer. I believe that the Supreme Court is the enforcer.
And maybe we'll say the executive branch is the administrator of the law.
He's the one that signs it into law. The House doesn't sign it. The Senate doesn't sign it. The president signs it.
The president signs it. The executive branch, they sign it. They administer it and make sure that it goes through. And then if you have a problem with the law, what's the judicial branch's role in our government?
Yeah, that's the court. That's the Supreme Court.
That's the Supreme Court.
At the federal level.
They define if that law is then constitutional.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to tell this, what's her name?
Amanda Kristovich.
Amanda Kristovich. Say, Mandy, listen. I know that you think, and this is how, I'm going to tell you, these people all have multiple degrees. But none of them have figured out the fact that the Supreme Court has beat down the NCAA in all these cases. It wasn't like Congress voted against this. They could take it to Congress. Congress could enact a law. You could sue Congress or whoever's administering this law and still go win in the U.S. Supreme Court. I don't think that they understand that. Like, I don't think that there's an understanding of that. And so the Congress can do whatever they want. You can go to them and they can make whatever law and the president can sign it. But if the Supreme Court does not view that law as constitutional, they can overturn that.
Yeah.
There you go. So, Mandy, you need to figure that out. There's a lot of other things that were going on there that I didn't necessarily agree with, what she was saying and how it was going to be administered. But, yeah, that was the crux of one of the issues I had with that yesterday.
Hey, the new college football game coming out in July is going to be pretty awesome. We'll do that next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, no crashes that we're currently watching across your interstates. We are seeing busy traffic on 33 on the southeast side coming in from Canal Winchester. Also on I-71 as you meet downtown Columbus. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
This offer is only available at Reichert Ford. 0% financing for 72 months on every 2023 Ford F-150 in stock. Take advantage of Reichert's rate before it's too late. Lock in your 0% rate and take a new truck home today. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
See dealer for details. N6324.
Exclusively at Reichert Ford. 0% for 72 months is now available on every new 23 F-150 in stock. Hundreds of trucks at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing. Save more this Memorial Day weekend. Only at Reichert. We're dealing.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now, your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. Good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel, everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with the Truehold Sell and Stay Leaseback program. This is a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to Truehold while its value is high. You bank all that equity in cash now. And you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And Truehold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a Truehold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-844-TRUEHOLD or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. Truehold.com.
When it comes to getting a new roof, are you confident letting just anyone on the roof of your home? I'm Craig Schottenstein, owner of Schottenstein Roofing. Our team is dedicated to delivering outstanding value on every roof we repair or replace. Whether residential or commercial, Schottenstein Roofing meets the needs of every customer. From roof installation and repair to siding and gutters, you name it, we do it. Call Schottenstein Roofing, 614-321-8888 to schedule your free inspection today. Go to SchottensteinRoofing.com.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, Beamer's in for me. He'll chat with PGA professional Ryan Cole from Columbus Country Club and update you on this week's Colonial.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick, presented by X-Golf. Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders and a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check him out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Beam has a baby face. Bobby has soft hands. That should not stop you from listening to this show. This is Morning Juice.
Before we get into some new college football game talk, so the timeline on the House v. NCAA settlement, I think it's pretty interesting, Bob. So college athletics leaders have widely acknowledged in a while for the settlement in the House case is a significant step forward It's not going to solve all of the legal and governance issues that have destabilized their former business model. Yep, not going to solve everything, but I think we're on the right track. Maybe getting there a couple of years down the road once NIL kind of kicked in. Said some university leaders are skeptical that the settlement will provide a clear path forward, and other college sports leaders look at the issues with how the financial burden of settlement payments would be shared among conferences. Sources have told ESPN that an agreement's widely expected to arrive by the end of the week. Sources have indicated that it's going to take at least 6 months to sort through all of the details, as such how Title IX laws will apply to future payments and whether they can curtail spending in the NIL marketplace. And they're
not going to be able to curtail NIL spending.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think they realize.
Yeah.
That went before the U.S. Supreme Court. Like, they're not going to be able to do that unless they have some sort of organization on the other side with the players that agree to all of that, and in doing so, that's what the cut of the revenue comes from, and this is why they're doing it, and that's the players agree to this cut of the revenue. Like, there's so much here, and this is the problem. And so everyone, the smaller conferences, is everybody in Division I's dealing with this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the Patriot League, the leagues that don't have Division I football, but that Division I basketball. And I want to say, the reason why you're complicit in this, because those were the leagues that held back any type of forward movement on the NIL front and any form of opening up and laxing restrictions, because they didn't want to deal with it, because that's not really their problem. And this comes down to the crux of the issue of the NCAA, because Colgate is not the same as Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio State is different.
As the University of Illinois. Pick your big state school.
It doesn't matter. And so, but they're treated the same way because they have a Division I basketball program, even though it's a much different paradigm that they live in. And so I've tried to explain, well, they didn't do anything. Yeah, they did. They held the process back. They should have said, okay, parcel off Division I football. And if you even want to bifurcate that and change that into areas where schools that their athletic departments are a profit center, at least, I wouldn't say their athletic department, their football team is a profit center,
mm-hmm.
and basically pays for the rest of the athletic department. And you mentioned the Title IX implications. And this is what it's interesting to me. So Title IX applies to any and all programs that receive federal funding.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is there is not a dime of federal funds that goes to the Ohio State University Athletic Department. They give money to the university. They don't receive any money from the university. Now, they get money, they have loans and different things like that all work through university and different things. But as far as a funding structure, the university gets money from the athletic department. They're the ones, they pay bills to the med center, they pay for all the tuition for everything. They don't get free tuition.
There's no reciprocating.
There is no reciprocation. The dollars are all going out. That is a one-way valve. There is none, maybe very little, but they don't receive any federal funding. And so I've always pressed this, how does Title IX apply to athletic departments if they're independently and wholly operated and they're not being subsidized at all? Now, that's not true everywhere, but at a lot of big schools, it is. They pay a massive boat every year to the university. So I'm just trying to wrap my mind around all of this and see how this is going to work, because the second part of it's okay, there's just, $20 million, $22 million, whatever that
18 to 22. I think
18 to 22 is
there.
The dollar amount that's being thrown out. It's a percentage of TV revenue per conference.
Per year.
The schools are going to give out. So in the Big Ten and SEC, they're going to have the biggest pot to give out.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that has to be split between athletes on a male and female basis, because it has to be equal, which first of all, Title IX's for equal opportunity. I mean, you have the opportunity to earn those dollars, but to do so, you have to garner the eyeballs. Now, women's basketball has changed that paradigm a little bit as of late, but the new TV contracts don't represent that. They don't pull that in. It wasn't like they said, hey, look at this Caitlin Clark phenomenon.
The ratings do.
The ratings do, but the TV dollars currently do not, because it's 90% generated from football. And so if I'm a football player at big state school, why am I giving half of my money to people who aren't generating that revenue? It's all of us. And so there'll be more lawsuits on that.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. And I don't think people aren't for hey, we can give them some, but to say, hey, if Ohio State's going to have to take $11 million and give it to their women's sports for the revenue split for NIL or compensation or whatever, and 11 goes to the men's, well, most of that's going to go to football. men's basketball is going to get some, and then there's going to be a chunk maybe for someone else. But like the $11 million that isn't going there, like why? Like I don't understand that, because Title IX and full value are two completely different things. Like you can't have people that are all equal, but yet some are more valuable than others from a revenue perspective.
So you're going to buy the new college football game that's coming out. This was released. I love Reddit. Big fan of Reddit. Love going down the Reddit wormholes. So this was released a couple of days ago. Mike Straw and his College Football 25 stream, the game that's just coming out here this summer in July. He had a couple of updates about the game, and it sounds pretty awesome. So you can't really do the option in Madden. And to be fair with you, I haven't played Madden in a couple of years. Like it was the same game for forever, and I'm like, I don't need to play this game anymore. I get too mad. I start getting angry, and I'm like, it's better for my mental health if I don't play it. But listen to this. Option offense has received a ton of attention in the new college football game. That's great. So you're also going to notice if you use a 2-star player against a 5-star player that it feels dramatically different. Like the size, height, speed of like a 5-star prospect is going to be different than like a 2-star guy. Wear and tear matters in a longer games. You're going to be able to tell by how he plays if a player isn't receiving like proper rest. So like you got to go in there and like doctor all that up. Mascots mode, unfortunately, not going to be in the game. That was one of my favorite things with the old games.
What's that? What's mascot mode?
Oh, you can just play with a team full of 11 Brutus on the field. Or like the Stanford tree or whatever. All of your guys would just be the mascot. So that's kind of upsetting that's not going to be.
You think Brutus didn't sign his NIL deal to get in it?
He didn't sign his Fanatics licensing deal to get in this? Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe Brutus was holding out there. Said Madden and college football, the new college football game, are on the same engine, but the developer has done a lot to make college football feel different than Madden. That's good. Madden is I don't know. Again, I haven't played it in a couple of years, but the way that game was trending, I wasn't a big fan. So good to see it that they've given full attention of it. I mean, this is interesting to me. It's not a full ESPN license. So just the broadcaster. So Kirk and Chris will be on there for like the big games. And one of the cooler things that we've learned about this as well, like if you are playing as, I don't know, take for example, like if you're playing as Buffalo, like you start a career mode with Buffalo, you start a Road to Glory or Road to Dynasty mode with them.
Road to the Glory hole.
Yeah, you start with them. Like your broadcast team is going to be different. Like you're not going to get the big like ESPN primetime Saturday night game. So like you're going to have different broadcast teams. I thought that was
pretty. Me from like circa 5 years ago when I'm doing
down on the sideline.
Some ESPN 3 games.
Down on the sideline for the Indiana game a few years ago when they opened the season.
Yeah, we did the MegaCast. I did that. But yeah, I mean, just doing a lot of different things, Beam.
So College Game Day is not really going to be in the game. There will be a pre-show, but it's not really College Game Day. It's all about becoming like a huge star and Road to Glory. So like you can do NIL deals and everything. It sounds pretty good. And so I know a lot of people that are going to put way more.
Aren't they going to have the Fox team in there too?
I don't know if they're going to have the Fox team.
I thought someone told me that. I don't know if that's for sure not, but I remember seeing that somewhere.
Like Klatt and Gus, like those guys.
Yeah, like depending on what conference you're in and where it's played, like that'll be your team. I thought they were trying to make that as realistic as possible.
Yeah. So anyways, it's going to be pretty sweet. So I'm not going to pour as much time as some people will into this, but I will definitely be purchasing this game on the PS5.
So Billy, you'll see him when he's 3.
Yeah, pick up the sticks, make you learn in the Crucible with me. Beat you 100-0 like Cardale did a couple of years ago.
Beat that kid in the hospital. How do you like that?
What did he say? He was like the reports came out. It's like Cardale Jones beats kid 56-3 in the hospital. And then he like quoted the tweet. Goes, it wasn't 56-3. That was the end of the third quarter. It was like 75-3. Cardale,
good for you. I didn't come here to play school, coach. I didn't come here to play games. You want to hop in?
Yeah, get on the sticks.
Let's go.
I want to be watching a lot of TNT next year. We'll do that in Quick Hitters next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Right now, no crashes that we're currently watching. Starting to see busy traffic out in New Albany on 161 and on 33 coming in from the southeast side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. the leading men's sexual health practice here in the area for treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone. And I'm excited to tell you today about the opening of our second location here in Columbus. For me, having been raised here, it's like being back home. The response we've gotten from men here in Columbus has been incredible, and I want to thank so many of you for trusting us in addressing your ED and low T issues. Our goal is always to put patients first, and our highly skilled medical professionals are totally focused on men's sexual health. So if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, call us. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, you'll get your sex life back. You might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. Make your appointment today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
New 2024, up to 72 months Aria, up to 36 months Rogue, and 6324.
Reichert Nissan has an announcement to make. 0% financing is now available for up to 72 months. Take a Reichert Nissan Aria home today and pay 0% for 72 months. But that's not all. Reichert Nissan also has 0% financing on Rogue 2. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands at ReichertNissan.com. Save more this Memorial Day weekend, only at Reichert. We're dealing.
With approved credit, residency restrictions apply. Offers cannot be combined. Dealer contribution affects consumer cost.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia. Often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube. Watch us live or on demand by searching 971 The Fan. Which fan host will awkwardly scratch their privates? Let's find out together. Find us on YouTube, The Fan.
My guys at Germain Lexus are getting ready for the Memorial. What they do every single year is let the golfers drive around in beautiful Lexuses for the week. Then they take those cars and sell them to you. You could be driving Rory's car. The Germain all-month-long celebration's going on right now. You can get great deals like this one. 2024 RX 350, 36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $49.99 down, $519 a month. I just picked up my brand new RX 350 a few weeks ago. It is plush. Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Hollywood Lights. Set sail with excitement at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Saturday, May 25th, you could be the lucky winner of a 7-day, all-expenses-paid Caribbean cruise for 2. Not a sailor? No problem. Opt for $15,000 in cold hard cash instead. Play your favorite slots and table games throughout May to earn entries. More details at HollywoodColumbus.com. Remember, your adventure awaits at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit. Credit for deciding while stuck in traffic to get a bachelor's degree. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. Students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. Plus, get your application fee waived through May 31st. Flexible online and hybrid classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are tracking a mix of clouds and sun out there today. We will be looking at some non-severe thunderstorms today. Temperatures get up to about 79 today. Tonight we drop back down to about 65. Tomorrow look for partly sunny skies with highs in the lower 80s. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. A radio show hosted by two former football players, one slightly more successful than the other. You're listening to Morning Juice.
We are on the Juice, brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Healthy, leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can, of course, visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Schottenstein Roofing. For top quality and a price match guarantee, visit SchottensteinRoofing.com.
Sharky,
yes.
Happy Thursday to you.
Happy Thursday to you, boys. In 26 hours, it'll be the weekend.
Oh.
For us, anyway.
No, I got to work on Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Gonna tune in. What
Are
time?
you? 9 o'clock? 9 a.m.
Yeah, I'll be tuned in. NBA telecasts have already lost some zest this season after ESPN fired Jeff Van Gundy last year. Now TNT appears to be out of the loop in the next TV contract. That means Chuck and Shaq and Kenny will go away, or at least they won't appear on Turner anymore. The NBA is formalizing contracts with Disney, NBC, and Amazon this week. It's expected to cost Disney $2.6 to $2.8 billion a year to televise games on ESPN and ABC. NBC's deal will cost around $2.5 billion, and Amazon will pay nearly $2 billion. Now, nothing is official yet, Beam, but it sounds like Ernie and the boys are going away.
Well, Ernie won't. I mean, he'll still be at Turner, and he has said this. Like,
what is he going to do there?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what he's going to do.
What he's going to do? He's going to be on the call for the 2024 college football playoff.
I did see that.
They're going to get on there.
I did see that yesterday. So
who's going to be his color man? Barkley.
God, that would be great. I mean, I'm in. Even if you had an inside the NBA version, and they're just up there talking about college football, I'm watching.
Have you seen all the memes? Be like, hey, forget your new game day cast for TNT, and just says Shaq, Kenny, Chuck.
Well, they're up there anyways for college basketball. Like Kenny does a good job, and I think he watches a decent amount of college hoops. Barkley's up there, knows nothing. He knows nothing about college basketball, and he's still more entertaining than everybody. I mean, the critical cog to that show is Ernie. He's a great pivot man because he just kind of lets it go, and then he decides when to reel it in.
I thought Shark was the best pivot man in the biz.
But yeah, this is sad. This is sad that this is going away because it's such a great show. And I was watching a little bit of them last night. They had Draymond on their set last night. They were up in Minneapolis doing the Wolves game. But yeah, it's very, very sad. I don't know why this is going away. What did you say the dollar amounts were, Shark, by each broadcasting?
2.6 to 2.8 for Disney, then 2.5 for NBC, and $2 billion for Amazon, which is
they're way overpaid.
Amazon. $7 billion annually for the NBA.
Amazon has a boatload of cash. I mean, like obviously. Scrooge McDuck, they just go there and get it. The problem is, like, I'm going to watch less NBA basketball than I already do, which is, I don't know if that's possible.
I watch a lot in the playoffs.
Yeah, because that's all that I'm watching now. So now if you're telling me I have to go find it as opposed to just like, oh, you know what? Here's this random game. Let me watch this. I'm done. And the best part about watching NBA basketball is Shaq, Kenny, Barkley, and Ernie. Like, it's like Bert and Ernie on Sesame Street. Like, that's the best part of it. Shaq's like the Count. Barkley's probably like Snuffleupagus, maybe Oscar the Grouch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
combo of both of them.
That's what I'm saying. That's the best part of it. Like the NBA, they blew this. It's going to hurt them. They may make more money in the short term, but they're going to be looking up 5 years from now and be like, what did we do? What have we done?
Lamar Jackson is one of the fastest players in the NFL, but he wants to be faster and more agile. During the offseason last year, Lamar lost 15 pounds. He's lost another 10 pounds this offseason.
I don't really know how many pounds I lost. I'm like 2-something right now, but I just say it was important enough I can be able to move around a little bit extra. That's all. Just so I can be more agile, be able to move more. I feel great. I feel great to be back out here with my guys, man, grinding, getting better. I feel great.
Bob, Lamar is... I think he's channeling his inner David Goggins.
Everybody talks about like losing weight. By the way, Lamar, you need to stay. If you want to run, like you're plenty fast enough. Yeah. You need to make sure that when you get hit, you stay together, and you don't turn into a gingerbread man and just explode on the field. Like I weigh 2-something. I'm going to tell you this. He weighed 2-something last year. It wasn't like he weighed 3-something. Yeah. And he doesn't want to get to be weighing 1-something because that's not good either. just stay there at 220, Big Haas, and you'll be fine. Maybe 225. Like, you're a tall dude. He's very muscular. He's a strong guy. He needs to lift to stay strong and in shape. He does not need to lose any more muscle mass. I don't think anybody's looking at Lamar Jackson saying, you know what?
You need a step.
Yeah, he needs a step, lose some weight, like you're too big to play.
Yeah, and he had a great first year, right? Under the new regime kind of over there in Baltimore, right? I mean, it was really good. It's just for them now with the Ravens comes playoff success. Like, they've done everything with Lamar, and he's won MVPs, and he's done all kinds of different stuff. But now it just comes down to, can you get it done in the playoffs? Can you get that AFC championship? Can you make it back to a Super Bowl? And can you ultimately
make it back? Oh, that's right. They didn't. No. They've never made it to the Super Bowl.
Not with Lamar.
Yeah,
no, I'm just saying, like, back as an organization. Can you make it back there, and can you ultimately get it done and win a Lombardi? Like, that's the next goal for them, whether or not he's losing 20 pounds in the offseason or not.
If you've seen the video of the dust-up between Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Kyle Busch after Sunday night's NASCAR All-Star race, you actually saw Stenhouse throw a punch, and that was a somewhat costly mistake. NASCAR has fined Pretty Ricky's $75,000, which surprisingly, is the largest fine ever leveled by the NASCAR for fighting. Busch was not penalized, but Beamer Ricky Stenhouse Sr. jumped into the fray to help out Jr., and Sr. has been suspended indefinitely.
Yeah, probably should be. I mean, it was quite the fracas.
I don't know why they're suspending and fining people for this. Like, they should promote it. Like, they should get a bonus.
This is the most that anybody's talked about NASCAR in a long time.
100%. This is the most our show has and will talk about NASCAR. It would have been better if you'd have broke his nose when he hit him.
We're not going to break down the points table when they get rolling?
I have no idea who any of these people are.
Oh, you know Ricky Stenhouse and Kyle Busch.
I know Kyle Busch. I don't know who Ricky Stenhouse is. No clue. If you put a lineup of 5 random dudes up there.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I couldn't pick them out of the crowd.
I've never heard that name before. The only reason I know I knew there was the biggest fine because it happened and it was scrolled across on the ticker.
Yeah, good for those guys. $75,000 punch. I bet it felt really good in the moment, though, even though he's probably regretting it now. Where do the Buckeyes rank in a post-spring football world as we barrel towards the summer? We'll do that in the re-rack coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we're not tracking anything major across your interstates. Starting to see busy traffic on 161 out in New Albany, also on I-71 near Polaris. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Glow Fiber. Glow Fiber Business is now in Ohio. With prepackaged and customized fully fiber optic business internet solutions, call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders and a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check him out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
There's a little slice of heaven in a mountain town escape. A pace of life that's less hurried, more authentic, where people greet you with a smile and experiences feel down to earth, yet elevated. From Appalachian art to wineries and craft breweries, live music to a lively spirit. This is West Virginia. We call it Almost Heaven. Plan your getaway now at wvtourism.com.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist?
You don't say.
Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Get ready to fan out this football season because NFL tickets are here. Score great deals on great seats from Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Experience every tackle, every touchdown, and every heart-pounding play live and in person. From the first down to the final whistle, Vivid Seats has you covered with a great selection of tickets for any team for the upcoming season. Plus, they're the only ticket company that rewards you for purchasing. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Mark the Shark. The Guardians swept their 6-game homestand against the Twins and Mets. Yesterday, they overcame a 3-0 deficit to beat New York 6-3. Andres Jimenez drilled a 3-run homer to tie the game in the 6th. And an inning later, Jonathan Rodriguez, who was just called up from AAA Columbus on Monday, had the go-ahead RBI single for his first major league hit. In Cincinnati, Luis Arraez had 4 hits, a homer, and 2 RBIs as the Padres beat the Reds 7-3. In the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving combined for 66 points as the Mavericks beat the Timberwolves 108-105 in Game 1 of that series. In the NHL Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Sergei Bobrovsky stopped all 23 shots as the Panthers beat the Rangers 3-0 in New York. This Sports Center is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Grab a napkin while shrinking your waistline. How? By making a Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Heading to work? Keep listening to the guys at the office.
Stream the show at 971thefan.com or download the Fan app.
This is Morning Juice.
Hour number 2 of the program for us on a Thursday. Brandon V, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here, 7:35 this morning. Dave Biddle of Bucknuts and On the Money. He's going to enjoy the program, talk a little Buckeyes with him. And then shortly after that, about 1 hour away from right now, around 8:05 this morning, Albert Breer of the MMQB. We're just going to join the program. Going to talk all things NFL with him. So bids coming up 7:35, AB coming up here around 8:05.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Busy sports night last night. Game number 1, Eastern Conference Finals, goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
Western Conference Finals.
What did I say, Eastern?
Yes.
Western Conference Finals, that's what I meant.
Kyrie.
Woo!
Sharks' third favorite Cleveland Cavalier.
Who's 1 and 2?
On him.
LeBron and Mark Price?
Austin Carr
that's right.
and Mark Price.
Does LeBron...
He's top 10.
Okay.
Top 10.
All right. Where's Kevin Love rank?
He's outside the top 10. But I did like him a lot.
What about Channing Frye?
No.
Not top 10? Top 50?
How about, okay, I'm going to give you
Let's do your Mount Rushmore of Cavs players.
I'm going to give you 3 players for the Cavs. I want you to rank them all time.
It's like ranking your children. He loves them all.
We're going to go with, what was Darius Miles?
That's a good one.
Very athletic.
Shaquille O'Neal and Sean Kemp.
Oh my God!
Those you have to rank those. That is that is the triumvirate of Cavs you have been tasked to rank.
Sean Kemp was so fat and out of shape, and Shaq was at the end,
also fat and out of shape.
Yeah, but he's bigger.
I mean, maybe not quite as fat and out of shape as Sean Kemp.
I think Sean Kemp was actually an all-star one year with the Cavs.
Was he?
Yeah.
Come on, his first year when he came in. Then
maybe. Yeah. Gosh, Bob, come on! What a trio that is! I'm going with Darius Miles.
Yeah, you would have.
Was he the one that shot it on his own? He's the one.
No, that was.
That's who I meant to
pick. Damon Jones. Damon Jones going for a triple double.
That's who I meant.
He missed intentionally so he could rebound.
Forget Darius Miles. Damon Jones. That's who I was thinking of. I was trying to go back to that point when they were really bad.
Yeah.
Just a collection of players. Not really a team at all. And you had a player shoot at his own bucket to try to get his 10th rebound. Those are your 3 guys, Shark. You have to rank them in order of what their contributions were to the Cavalier franchise.
Damon Jones' Wikipedia page is awesome.
Of course it is. If you shoot at your own bucket beam to get a 10th rebound, you're going to have a great Wikipedia page because that's probably not the worst decision you've made in life, and that's pretty bad.
Jones was most notable for this is on his wiki page. Jones was most notable for his three-point field goals. In fact, three-point attempts made up the majority of his field goal attempts because his role was often to wait on the outside while teammates such as Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, or LeBron James forced double teams. Jones was supremely confident of his shot, once proclaiming that he's, quote, the best shooter in the world.
Wait, you're telling me that was Damon Jones that did that, Shark?
Yeah.
You're positive?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he have 2 stints with the Cavs?
No.
So when he went to the Heat, then he didn't come back?
He did come back. That was the only time he played for the Cavs. After he played for the Heat.
You're thinking it's not Damon Jones.
It definitely was Damon Jones.
I'm going to have to look this up now.
What? Why don't you think it was Damon Jones?
Because I thought that wasn't during the LeBron time there.
The first time for LeBron, and we're talking about 2006, 2007.
2005 to 2008, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Never mind. Good job, Shark. Why would I ever question your Cleveland sports knowledge?
Justin on the YouTube chat said it was actually Ricky Davis.
Ricky
Davis,
yes.
You're
Thanks,
right.
Justin.
I didn't think it was Damon Jones.
Ricky Davis out of Iowa.
Is that where he went to school?
Yeah.
So, okay, Ricky Davis.
Pretty Ricky's what they called him.
Shaq and Sean. You tell me 1, 2, 3. I took 3 guys to get me who that was. Ricky Davis.
I guess, Shaq was only there 1 season, and he only played half a season, so I guess he'd be number 1. And then
did the least damage.
And then Sean Kemp would be 2. Sean's statistics actually weren't awful. And then Pretty Ricky was such a goofball. Oh my gosh.
He shot at his own basket.
He additionally received attention for stat padding this is on his wiki page. Stat padding in a home game against the Jazz in March of 2003, with Cleveland leading 120-95 and less than 7 seconds remaining. Davis was 1 rebound short of his first career triple-double. He deliberately tossed an inbound pass off his own rim and caught it in an attempt to receive credit for a rebound.
And they didn't give him credit for it.
But shots taken at one's own basket do not count in the official field goal percentage.
No, I'm going to push back on that. If the bucket goes in, it counts as points, does it not?
It does.
So that's a shot. So
that's why an RBI counts in the Manfred man in baseball. Not extra. I was going to say,
but it
extra
doesn't.
time,
Yeah,
in extra innings.
But accountants go crazy across the world because you can't have an RBI that doesn't have an earned run attached to it. So no one gets the earned run, but yet there's an RBI that counts.
It's because it's a ghost runner.
I mean, that's the same principle here with the NBA. You're telling me that if I shoot at my own basket and it goes in, it's 2 points. But if I miss it and I get it, it's not a rebound for someone?
You know, the amazing thing about that Manfred man, the quote unquote ghost runner.
That's a song. I think it's too much.
Is the guy made the last out of the previous inning? That's who the base runner is. The next.
So they get on base with making it out.
He makes an out, gets on base, and gets credit for a run. And one of these days, somebody's going to lead the league in runs scored, and they're going to figure out 4 of his runs were scored after he made the last out of the previous inning.
Should it be like the movie Mr. 3000, where he's then going to have to come back and play after 10 years of retirement because his stats are fake?
He's going to have to sneak on there and try to run bases while he's playing defense, Shark, to get those extra bases in. Like Ricky Davis. That is so amazing. I remember watching that. And listening to the Sports Center, it was unreal.
Well, it had to be. I'm guessing Stuart Scott was doing it. He made everything better.
Oh, it was hard. You couldn't make that any better. I mean, whatever commentary you were putting to that, add as much satire. I mean, you need to just pile that satire on. Pile it on. I mean, it was ridiculous. Because they weren't any good that year, right, Shark?
No.
They've had the worst record in the league. That's how they got LeBron in the 04. Oh, no, that would have been 03 draft.
So was LeBron on that team?
No.
Because that would have been 03.
That would have been the 03 season.
Let's say the spring of 03,
that was
and then they had the draft.
Yeah, that was the 02-03 season, yeah. So you know what? You can help credit Ricky Davis with that NBA title. If it wasn't for him and doing things like that,
LeBron would have never been a Cav.
No. He couldn't have. And him just being bad in general, that is unreal.
Jazz coach Jerry Sloan said to reporters afterward, I would have fouled him too, would have knocked him on his ass. The Cavs initially said they wouldn't punish Davis for saying the embarrassment was enough. However, in the face of national outcry, the Cavaliers fined him an undisclosed amount of money for unsportsmanlike conduct, and that play led to Davis being nicknamed Wrong Rim Ricky.
Wrong Rim. I mean, that could go a lot of different ways.
Of course it can.
I mean, if you're hanging out in the wrong part of town like Shark and you get the name Wrong Rim Ricky.
What does that mean? Watch out.
It means watch out, Shark. You told me that. So when I saw that carved in that rest stop door, that's what it must have meant. I didn't realize that you were cruising around on that 71 drive back to Ashland.
NHL Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Panthers 3, Rangers nothing. 1-0 series advantage now with the Panthers. Games tonight, Oilers at the Stars at 8:30 in game number 1, and then Pacers at the Celtics at Eastern Conference Finals, game number 2 tonight at 8 o'clock. How about the guard, Sharky? 50 games done. Sweepage of the Mets at the Angels tomorrow. 33-17 after 50 games. Whoa.
You told me they were going to be bad.
Who did?
You.
I did not.
You said
He
the
would
guards
never
were
say
done.
that. He would never say
said
that.
I
when
would
Tito
say that
retired,
if I
they were
thought
done.
they were not going to be good.
Well,
but
after we already counted Bieber's start streak,
Oh, God,
opening
that
day
was a
start
disaster.
streak.
We did do that. Shark, you did do that.
Everybody else did. I go, why are we counting it before? Because they named him the opening day starter. He has to make it there. There's a lot of things that could happen.
I said that the Guardians and the Reds would both make the playoffs, and the Reds, write it down, will win the division.
Write it down.
and they're in last place.
Well, they're only 8 games back after 49 games.
Here's the good news. They have positioned themselves for a Herculean comeback in the second half.
Yeah, a late summer
Or
push.
the number 1 pick in the draft.
No, they're probably not going to be. I think the A's are probably on track to get that done. So Reds finishing up against San Diego today at home. They got the Dodgers at home coming up here over the weekend. 20-29 after 49 games, 8 games back first place. So we'll see what happens. Buckeye baseball in action today.
So
in
hold on,
Omaha.
you're telling me they're 8 games back and they're 20-29?
Yeah.
So you're telling me the first place team is what, 500?
The Brewers are 28-21.
They're 8 games up. That's right. Okay. That's nice. All right.
The Buckeye baseball team in action today at 3 o'clock. That is over on ESPN Columbus. What is ESPN Columbus? Well, that's 1460 AM or HD2 on new car radios. So Matty Andrews going to be on the call. That is at
Taking on
2:55.
the number 3 Indiana Hoosiers. They win today. They make it out of their group stage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe this team's poised to make a run.
Then they'll be in
do they
the
get auto bids for Shark? Do you get auto bids in college baseball and the NCAA tournament?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I mean, I do this show with Hester, and we talk more college baseball than anyone in the world. Did you know that Vanderbilt has won their first 2 games? They beat Tennessee, who was the number 1 seed in the SEC. Yeah, that was big.
The SEC
is going to get every team in.
We'll get every team in the 64 team field.
LSU has outscored their opponents in the first 2 games. And believe me, they were struggling to get in. They were worried about it. They have a plus 19 run differential in 2 games.
Whoa. Well, Buckeyes have a plus 12 run differential. They won 15-3 against Nebraska. So there's a chance.
This game.
There's a chance for them to add on to that today.
They could. A win adds anything. So if you're telling me they're adding runs to that today, that is a huge bonus.
So post-spring power rankings came out. This is on ESPN. I thought Mark Schlabach did a good job on this. Georgia coming in at number 1. The write-up for them with a schedule that includes non-conference opener against Clemson and Atlanta, SEC road games at Kentucky, Bama, Texas, and Ole Miss, and a 4th straight unbeaten regular season. Might be asking a bit much of the Bulldogs, but there's a reason Kirby Smart program won back-to-back college football playoff championships in 21 and 22. 46 of its past 48 games they have won. Quarterback Carson Beck primed for a big season, yada, 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 whatever. Number 2 coming in on this list are the Buckeyes.
Of course.
Number 2, spring update. Coach Ryan Day's team has won 86.8% of their regular season games since he took over the Ohio State program since the start of the 19th season. The Buckeyes have defeated every Big Ten opponent in the regular season the past 3 years, except for one, Michigan. Unfortunately for Day, Ohio State has lost the Wolverines 3 straight times, sullying what has otherwise been a remarkable stretch. After Michigan won a playoff national title under former coach Jim Harbaugh last year, the Buckeyes increased their efforts in the transfer portal, landing 5-star safety Caleb Downs, tailback Quinshon Judkins and quarterback Will Howard. Day also turned over the offensive play calling to his mentor and former UCLA coach Chip Kelly. The Buckeyes get a soft non-conference schedule, home games against Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall, and play the Wolverines of the Horseshoe November 30th. Also sandwiched in between that, week number 6, kind of the big litmus test of the early portion of the season is on the road at Autzen in Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be the critical inflection point of the season. You know, they also have to go to Penn State this year, too.
Yep.
And Penn State's going to be good. Penn State plays Ohio State. They do not play Michigan, 2 teams that they had played every year since I don't know if they played Michigan every year because Ohio State's 2 locked in were Penn State and Michigan, and then Michigan's 2 locked in were Michigan State and Ohio State. So they're dropping the Michigan, obviously, and they're dropping Ohio State. They don't have any locked-in rivals now. But the Buckeyes still will play them. They'll play Oregon, and they'll play Michigan. Those are the 3 big games of the year. Maybe you could lump Iowa in with that. But unfortunately, the only one of those games that's home is Michigan. You got to wait all the way till the end of the season to get it. And everybody will love to be able to see a win. But this Michigan team, I think they'll be good. I don't think they're going to be great. And by good, I mean 8, maybe 9 wins. They've lost a lot. They're not going to be bad, but I just don't think they're going to be to where they've been the last couple of years.
Like a good year for them would be making the playoff. Like a really good year for them would be getting into the 12-team playoff.
That means they're winning 10 games. That would
against
be
a brute. They have a really tough schedule.
If they win 10 games on their schedule, they're getting in.
Yeah.
They have Texas,
Washington,
USC, Ohio State. I think that might be it. Like, those are 4 pretty tough games.
Yeah, big games. 3 is Texas, 4 is Oregon, and 5 actually is Notre Dame coming in, rounding out the top 5.
Notre Dame.
Hey, Justin Fields, he's not looking to be a backup to Mr. Unlimited. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, no crashes that we are tracking across your interstates. Watching busy traffic at 161 as you approach 270 on the northeast side. Coming in from New Albany, also on I-71 near Polaris. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
It's lunchtime at Tim Hortons, and we're serving up a special deal just for you. Our new $5.99 lunch deal includes your choice of any lunch sandwich and a side of crunchy kettle chips. Because what's lunch without a little crunch? And the sandwich choice is all yours, like a ham and Swiss, Chipotle chicken wrap, BLT, and more. Made to order just the way you like it. Tim Hortons' new lunch deal. Simple, delicious, and just $5.99. Now that's a good deal. Only at your neighborhood Tim's. U.S. only. Price and participation vary. Terms apply.
When you ask people here what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler, for some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing, it's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
With spring ball behind us, we're officially gearing up for the most anticipated football season ever. Excited, nervous, terrified to your very core? Think of us as your emotional safe space. Always your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 3 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Now at UDF, buy 3 everyday favorites with UDrive Plus to quickly stack an extra 20 cents in gas savings. That includes drinks like Coke and Sprite, Pepsi, and Mountain Dew. And that adds up. UDF, made for you. Specially marked products with an opted-in UDrive account.
Are you confident letting just anyone on the roof of your home? I'm Craig Schottenstein, owner of Schottenstein Roofing. Our team is dedicated to delivering outstanding value on every roof we repair or replace. Schottenstein Roofing. Go to schottensteinroofing.com.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are tracking a mix of clouds and sun out there today. We will be looking at some non-severe thunderstorms today. Temperatures get up to about 79 today. Tonight we drop back down to about 65. Tomorrow look for partly sunny skies with highs in the lower 80s. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Keep on swiping that card, baby. Keep on swiping that card. Charge it to winning. This is Morning Juice.
Coming up here, 7:35, Dave Biddle, Bucknuts, and On the Money. He's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeyes with him. To expect as we barrel towards summer. By the way, we're now on YouTube. Go to youtube.com where you fire up your app, type in 97.1 The Fan. We're going to pop up our live stream all throughout the day. We're going to have a live stream. You can even go back and watch the show and what you missed. Like yesterday at this time, we had Michael Bennett in the studio in his short sleeves. He wasn't afraid of the cold. You can go back and watch that, what Mike had to say about all kinds of good stuff, studying for the bar, and ready to take that, hanging out, having a good time.
His dog taking massive dumps all through his house.
That was a disaster. Dane. Yeah, that was. I think he called me after that had happened, and he was like, "I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this dog." I'm like, "You're just gonna have to deal with it, man."
Yeah, deal with large Great Dane dumps in your house. That's what you want to come home from practice for.
Yeah, of course. What are your expectations for Justin Fields over in Pittsburgh this year?
Better than the expectations I have for Antonio Brown right now.
Yeah, that's...
we'll get into that in a little bit. I just stumbled upon this.
Why don't you tell the folks what's going on with him?
Well, he's filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, claiming he has less than $50,000 in assets. So I don't know if that's just a ploy, if he thinks he's going to trick people, or if he's actually going broke, which maybe is the case, and it wouldn't surprise me by his lifestyle and what he's doing. So
the hashtag that he throws out on Twitter is crazy. Hashtag CTESPN.
I love it.
What are you doing, man?
He's beautiful.
What are you doing?
He's beautiful.
What do you got going on?
I don't know, man. Antonio Brown is like a test case of. He is basically what they put up in the rookie symposium of how not to live your life.
Yeah.
And how not to, especially your post-playing career, how not to end your career. Just a litany of how not to operate.
Straight out of the playbook.
It's really the playbook of what not to do. Like, you burned your way out of Pittsburgh. And then
you burned your feet out of Oakland.
Then you went to New England, blew it there.
Remember that video? Well, and then he went down to the Bucs.
Yeah.
And then he double birded his way out of the stadium, and that was it.
After winning a Super Bowl. Is he on the Super Bowl team?
Yeah.
I think he was.
I don't know. Was he?
Maybe they... Was that the year before?
Was it the year that they won? Was it like that year?
No, I thought that he made it through the season. It was the following year. Did he ever win a Super Bowl?
He won it with the Bucs.
There you go.
He won it with the Bucs.
It was that next year that he broke down. He couldn't make it through another offseason.
Yeah, he won it with the Bucs.
I mean, this used to be more common because guys, they would continue to live the lifestyle as if they were 20 years old, and then they're 40 and they're not making a lot of money anymore. They're just spending money and they're not doing anything to have any type of income. And they're making probably bad business decisions, but they're spending money like money ain't a thing, Beam. And unfortunately it is. And then now you add in like his little level of craziness, which is in there too, which is probably the most beautiful thing. And people always say, like, you go look back at the arc of Antonio Brown's life, and it changed after he got knocked out by Vontaze Burfict.
I mean, he got smoked.
He did. And then they're like, that's when the craziness happened, is when he started going nuts. He had a great story before that. I mean, he's a kid from Florida. He decides to go, I think there's only scholarship offer. Where's he go to? Western Michigan? Central Michigan?
Yeah. Him and J.J. Watt, I think, were on the same team, weren't they?
Jeez, two guys that should have been Hall of Famers. I mean, Antonio Brown should have been a Hall of Famer if he wouldn't have just lost it, completely went out of his gourd. And makes it to Pittsburgh, 5th-round draft pick, I think, 6th-round draft pick, like starts on special teams and just becomes a dude. And
like the guy.
And at the time, he's receiver one. Like he was the best, one of the best 2 or 3 guys in all of the NFL. And then that's just like the spiral. The death spiral of life for him is so depressing to see. Like, I have to make light of it because if not, the other alternative is only to cry.
Yeah.
It's so sad. And I mean, believe me, it's self-inflicted. But I don't know if he doesn't have anyone in his life who will give him an honest conversation.
Well, I think that was pretty apparent when he had the video team around him when he's like calling Gruden, and Gruden is like, hey, man, we're just going to let you go. And then he's like running outside. He was super pumped about that. Like, he just signed a big contract. Like, do you remember that video? Like, that was one of the more wild things.
That was on Hard Knocks, right?
Were they on Hard Knocks?
Yeah, that was on Hard Knocks, right?
But it wasn't a Hard Knocks video. It was like his own video that he had like a producer around for.
Yeah. I don't remember that being on Hard Knocks because I didn't watch Hard Knocks that season, and I did see the video.
But it was maybe it wasn't on Hard Knocks, but that was like part of that whole tenure right there. I mean, they talked about everything leading into it, and him burning his feet, not practicing at all.
In the cryo
because he was wet when he went in there. And like Gruden was handling it all pretty well.
I thought they were.
I would have went nuts. Gosh, it was so ridiculous.
There was I don't know, 3 or 4 year span where I thought he was the best receiver in football.
I think
you always talk about, Bob, to be considered for the Hall of Fame, you've got to be the best at your position. He was.
Yeah, and you're right. For a 3 or 4 year run, I mean, he's in that conversation. And so, I mean, in theory, there's a chance he could be a Hall of Famer, but I don't know. How many, you don't have him pulled up anymore, Beam? I was going to say, how many first team All-Pros does he have?
4-time first team All-Pro, second team, 1-time second team All-Pro.
So for 5 years, he was either the best or second best player at his position.
2-time NFL receiving yards leader, 2-time receptions leader, receiving touchdowns leader in 2018. Yeah, I mean, all kinds of stuff.
So a friend of mine who works in the NFL, like works in the industry.
He's got 12,000 yards, 83 receiving touchdowns.
Those are Hall of Fame numbers. Now, I don't think he'll get in.
3,000 return yards and 5 return touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. He was even better as a returner when he was young. And my friend told me, he's like, when he leaves, Ben's going to struggle. And Ben struggled after he left. He's like, Antonio Brown does a lot for him. And a lot of yards after the catch. The stories that they told of him in Pittsburgh, like that they kept quiet. And this, I think there was, for a while, this craziness was in there, was just bottled up, being ready to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he went to Oakland, it was the ability for it to get out of there was insane.
Well, then it just stayed out.
It stayed out. Well, it wasn't like just out. It was being fed.
Yeah.
He was feeding the crazy beast. But they said like he would drive rental cars. And I don't know why he would have a rental car in his hometown, but he would drive, Shark, you'll love this story. He would have rental cars that he would get in Pittsburgh and like go to the airport, pull them up, and just walk on in. And like, you can't park here, sir. He's like, it's all good. And like, just throw the keys up in the air.
You know, there's stories
just walk in there and like take off.
There's stories of PGA Tour pros doing that when they get these courtesy cars. and I don't know who it is. I haven't found out the name, but one of the players on the tour, previously on the tour, was more notorious for that than others. Like, he would go to these events, you'd get these courtesy cars. Like, if you go to the Memorial, right? Like, they've got the Lexus and everything that are out there. And so they would just drive them. They would just drive them to the airport, like you're saying, and just leave it there, like at right in front of like arrivals and departures.
That is, I can't even get.
You're a guy who also wages war on people who don't return shopping carts. So that to the extreme is leaving an actual car in front of the departures area.
Who do you think you are?
Exactly.
I mean, if you want to call and be like, hey, I parked it in the garage here. Here's where it is. Like, they have a key's locked inside. You have a spare. Go get it. I could maybe wrap my mind around that if the dealership is cool with that being the case.
Yeah.
And like that plan. But you just acting like it's okay, I'm a limo driver. Like, you just pull on up there and leave the car in front.
Someone will get this taken care of.
Someone else will take care of it. Like, who? There is not a greater show of arrogance in the entire world. Like, my wife always said, you always think things don't apply to you. No, I look a way to get around everything. That's my goal. Never in my life would I ever think of just pulling up with a rental car and leaving it in front of an airport.
That's not even a thought that would cross my mind as a possible outcome or solution.
No, it's insanity. Why drive my Jeep over a parking block and like drive it up to park it in grass on a hill if there's no parking?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely, I will. You know what? And she's like, she can't do that. I'm like, no, my Jeep can. The other cars can't. That's them. They made a decision to buy something that might be more fuel efficient.
My K5 can't do that.
No, it can't. We'll gut it. You can try. Be awesome if you get stuck on it like a teeter-totter beam, just back and forth. But like, those are things that I will do. That is insanity by Antonio Brown. And people told me like, oh, he won't pay for stuff. He'll walk on bills. And now you see like all these bills and everything and people that he hadn't paid. He's throwing rock. But this is the same dude, Beam, who was throwing rocks at a moving company.
Yeah.
The dude was in a box truck. He's a grown 35-year-old man throwing rocks at a box truck. Who are you? What are you, 7-year-old Billy? Like, I mean,
well, hopefully he's not even doing that.
Which, by the way, your parents, I'm hoping that you and Meredith are yelling at him at that point.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we don't find a situation like that. Yeah,
throwing rocks at as a grown man.
Dave Biddle of Bucknuts and On the Money. He's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeyes with him next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we're watching busy traffic on I-71 as you meet downtown Columbus. Also on 33 over in the Plain City area, but no crashes that we are currently tracking. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan traffic.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel. Not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Roof leaks can mean expensive repairs unless you work fast. Legacy Roofing, the leader in Central Ohio commercial roofing, can repair, replace, and maintain your roof to avoid costly damage. At Legacy, we're famous for fast, reliable, safe, and permanent protection for your roof. Our technicians are skilled craftsmen trained by industry leaders like Carlisle, Versico, and Elevate to create lasting roofing systems to protect your investment. Call Legacy Roofing Services today, 800-880-ROOF, 800-880-ROOF. Legacy Roofing Services.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
The Memorial is coming, and we'll be there, and you'll be there, and we'll all be, you get the point. The Fan is broadcasting live from the Memorial.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling and Orthopedic One.
The Fan.
Right now during Jeep 4x4 season, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Jeep Compass Limited 4x4 for $379 a month for 42 months with $3,837 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-888-925-JEEP for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial Services. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 6/3/2024. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Hollywood Lights. Set sail with excitement at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Saturday, May 25th, you could be the lucky winner of a 7-day, all-expenses-paid Caribbean cruise for two. Not a sailor? No problem. Opt for $15,000 in cold hard cash instead. Play your favorite slots and table games throughout May to earn entries. More details at HollywoodColumbus.com. Remember, your adventure awaits at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
This show's sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We blinked and 2024 is already halfway over. Pretty incredible. What's something that you've done this year you're proud of? Keep up the good work with a moment every week to hit pause, set intentions, and reset in therapy. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy on a flexible schedule. Take a moment with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/like today to get 10% off your first month.
So you're in the middle of a kitchen update, and you can't tell if that's a faucet stem or a flange. With the Home Depot app, doing doesn't miss a beat. It'll find what you need in a snap, and it'll show you how to find it in store with a tap. Or get it delivered free. For doing that doesn't stop, download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Here's a list of undisputed facts. Beamer is round, Shark was a swinger, and no one derails a show like Bobby Carpenter. No one. This is Morning Juice.
Who's along here? Well, Thursday edition of the program. Brandon B. Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Right now we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Gas Hotline. Check with our good friend, the Bucknuts, and on the money. He is Dave Biddle. Bids, thanks for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Before we jump into some Buckeyes, your thoughts on your Cincinnati Reds being 20-29 after almost 50 games played here in the season?
Yeah, we do a segment on the money called That's Trash. We should just dedicate it to the 2024 Reds.
I thought they were either going to win the division or be 40 games below 500. I think we're trending more towards the second part of that.
Certainly the latter. Yeah, and really, I mean, it went off the rails in spring training when they just had guys dropping like flies. Marte got suspended. Matty Mack was kind of like the linchpin of the team last year. Matt McClain, and losing him, that was huge. But yeah, I think the Cubs are probably going to end up winning that division. I think the Brewers are going to fall off, and I think the Cubs are probably going to win the division.
Oh, boy. Well, I feel bad for you there, Bids. I mean, this was – Shark said the Reds are going to win make the playoffs and win the division, write it down. So, I mean, he was in that same optimistic boat that you were, and obviously that optimism, well, it was maybe misplaced at this point in time. Another Ohio team, though, you probably have reason to be optimistic about. Buckeyes, ESPN did their post-spring game, spring ball, and portal rankings. What is that called, Beam, exactly? Was that portal like the preview?
Yeah, college post-spring top 25.
There you go. And they've got Georgia at 1, Buckeyes at 2, Oregon 3?
Oregon 4, Texas 3, Notre Dame 5.
What do you think about those numbers there, Bids?
A little high for Notre Dame. If you look at the betting odds, Notre Dame is 8th overall. Michigan would be 9th. So it goes Georgia and Ohio State are almost a coin flip now. If you look at the odds to win the national championship, Ohio State's odds keep ticking down. Like it was like 7-1, then 6-1, then 5-1, then 4-1. Now it's all the way down to 3.5-1.
No value there anymore, Bids.
I know, man. That's why you got to. Hopefully you locked it in at 7-1. But if not, I mean. So Georgia's at plus 325, Ohio State's plus 350, and then it's a big jump to plus 750 for Texas. And then Oregon's at 9-1. So those are your top four. And I tell you what, I mean, it's a multitude of factors. Obviously, that means the sharp money's coming in on Ohio State. That's the reason. But the reason the sharp money's coming in on Ohio State is because the Sharps are realizing this is a loaded roster. I think the one question mark is the offensive line. But, you know, I did a deep dive on the offensive line the other day, just analyzing it. It's veteran. I think that's one thing that gets kind of lost in the shuffle. There's no first-year starters on this offensive line. Presuming Carson Hinsman is the starting right guard, he would be a first-year starter at right guard, but he started at center last year. Josh Simmons at left tackle, third-year starter. Donovan Jackson, left guard, third-year starter. Seth McLaughlin, third-year starter, including 2 years at Alabama. And then, you know, you look at Carson Hinsman, second-year starter. Josh Fryer, second-year starter. So, again, I'm not saying it's a stellar offensive line, but if that's the weakness, you can see why this team is loaded. They had, you know, all the guys coming back for an extra year, getting guys in the portal like Caleb Downs, the number one player in the portal, regardless of position. I think Will Howard's going to be a solid quarterback for this team. So, yeah, guys, I mean, this is – and Ryan Day, I love how open he's being about it. He's like, our goals are to beat the team up north and win the national championship. He's not hiding from it. I mean, he knows, and I absolutely love it.
He is Dave Biddle of Bucknuts and on the money with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Sticking with the offense, Bids, if this thing is humming like we're expecting it to, what does it ideally look like to you? If this all, yeah, what does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it sound like? Smell like even when this thing is kind of humming along? Like ideally in an ideal world, what does it look like?
Yeah, and that might be the biggest get of the offseason was Chip Kelly. It's amazing. He's the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. It's still just crazy to me. Well, I think, you know, they have to be balanced, and I think they will be. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Chip Kelly is, you know, as we all know, very innovative. He's also, like, I think going to help this offensive line. Even though he's not the O-line coach, he's going to help his buddy Justin Fry, who worked for him at UCLA as well. And I think Chip Kelly is going to do a good job of keeping this offense balanced. They're going to, you know, obviously they're going to throw the ball. They have to. I mean, it's a Ryan Day offense. They're going to be throwing the ball. They've got, you're probably, you know, arguably the best core of wide receivers in the country with Emeka and, you know, J.J. Smith and Carnell Tate and the guys. But, you know, you got, you know, again, arguably the best 1-2 punch at tailback in the country with Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. So, you know, it'll depend on the opponent, but I look for them to be pretty balanced on offense and to be one of the best offenses in the country.
Are you concerned at all about going out to Autzen? There's been a lot of Big Ten teams that have gone out there over the past 25 years, and now I guess maybe since it's not a non-conference game, that may be a little different, but that have fallen in a stadium that isn't maybe overly large, but from all accounts is incredibly hostile.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been there, but I mean, it's a tough place to play from everything that I've heard. And as you mentioned, Bob, I mean, it holds like around 50,000, a little under 60,000, and it gets loud in there. And they're a legit good team. I mean, like I said, they got the fourth best odds to win the national title. But they're going to be ready for that game. I will say, I was not initially a fan of the 12-team playoff. If Ohio State happens to drop that game at Oregon, I'll be a fan of the 12-team playoff. It gives you a lot more margin of error. I won't be surprised, guys, if we have a rematch of Ohio State-Oregon in the Big Ten championship game, regardless of what happens in Eugene. I'm also glad that game, Ohio State has a little build-up before then. You know, it's week 5. That'll be fun. That's going to be a fun game. And Bob, isn't it crazy that's a Big Ten game? Going to Eugene, Oregon for a Big Ten intra-conference game. It's wild.
So I know that you just mentioned that might be a potential Big Ten championship game rematch. Long-term, do you see that game existing in like 5 or 10 years, Bids?
Oh, I've said they don't need it anymore, but because of money, I mean,
everybody needs money,
you know?
Bids.
That's the thing. It's like I don't need the Big Ten championship game anymore, but like the people that make millions of dollars off of it want it. So yeah, it's probably not going anywhere, fellas. I think now with the 12-team playoff, it really makes the conference championship games not meaningless because I mean that can affect who gets in and who doesn't. But
it affects the bye. I mean, you get the bye if you win it. So I think that part's a big deal.
That is a big deal. That's huge. I mean, my gosh, that's if you can get the bye, that is. I'm not breaking news here. That would be immense if you can get that by.
Hey, do you? I struggle with this. Like at least my inner self does, because I would like to see a home playoff game at the Shoe, but knowing that the home playoff game being at the Shoe means that the regular season didn't go as expected. Like, do you battle with yourself with that as well, Bids?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I mean, I don't really battle with it because I definitely would prefer the bye. Like, no question about it. But that would be a nice, like, consolation prize, would it not? Like, they don't get the bye, but they're close. Get to host a playoff game at Ohio Stadium in December. I mean, pretty damn good consolation prize.
Yeah, speaking of hostile environments, I know that Autzen might be, but I can't imagine a team walking in here in December and what that would be like, because I would imagine that would be not a very nice place to come and play as a visiting team. Bids, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning, buddy. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. Dave Biddle of Bucknuts and On the Money with us, courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're going to get juice next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we're watching busy traffic on I-71 as you meet downtown Columbus. Also on 33 over in the Plain City area, but no crashes that we are currently tracking. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders in a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check him out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Valley Ford of Columbus. If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle without breaking the bank, well, Valley has a sweet selection of certified pre-owned Ford Blue Advantage cars, trucks, and SUVs waiting for you. Get the better deal with my guys at Valley Ford of Columbus.
Have you heard? There's always more at Speedway, like a big bite hot dog and big gulp drink for only $2.50. We've got what you're in the mood for, and now you can get more with less. Get your big meal deal for only $2.50 with Speedy Rewards. Valid through 1/7/25. Speedway has the right to end this promotion early, plus tax. Participating U.S. stores only. See app for full terms. All rights reserved.
The Fan is your home for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, we're not. You can't say that. Take two.
The Fan is your home of the Buckeyes. Yes, that's right. Same thing, but more playoff success. Now give Big Voice Guy another brandy. Thank you. The Fan.
How can you reach your weight loss goals by the 4th? Simple. Make a Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Bacon's on the table. Burgers, lobsters, you name it. Don't sacrifice the summer avoiding what you love. Make a Bacon 180 at awaken180weightloss.com.
For roof leaks and roof replacements, call Legacy Roofing Services, Central Ohio's commercial roofing leader. Legacy Roofing Services, ranked in the top 100 roofers in America. Call Legacy today, 800-880-ROOF, 800-880-ROOF. Legacy Roofing Services.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and the playoff action is here, and there isn't a more rewarding sportsbook in the game than Tipico. Get ready to bet on the biggest games of the year, the playoff basketball, the hockey, the actions every night. You want to make the most of every game, you've got to bet with Tipico. You'll get up to 5% cash back on your bets. Claim your new sign-up bonus now and get $150 in protected bets when you deposit $100. Sign up now. Enter the promo code TheFan150 to get your bonus. Download the Tipico Sportsbook app today. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, are you having a hard time dealing with high-interest credit card debt? It's normal, and a SoFi personal loan could help you save thousands by consolidating your DEBT to one low fixed monthly payment. You could get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required. It only takes 60 seconds to view your rate, and it won't affect your credit score. View your rate at SoFi.com/paid-off. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/paid-off. NMLS 696891.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are tracking a mix of clouds and sun out there today. We will be looking at some non-severe thunderstorms today. Temperatures get up to about 79 today. Tonight we drop back down to about 65. Tomorrow look for partly sunny skies with highs in the lower 80s. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
What's the going rate for a good babysitter? Also, Shark needs a raise. You're listening to Morning Juice.
We here on The Juice are brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can, of course, visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Sharky, I already know it has you juiced. Albert Breer is going to join us coming up here around 8:05.
Yes.
You're super pumped about that. Before we do that, what Schleg's got to say this morning?
Like that little green guy from SpongeBob SquarePants where he goes in there to SpongeBob's brain trying to find...
Listen, we don't watch SpongeBob at our house, Schlegs.
I'm just... Well, he's trying to find the secret recipe for the Krabby Patty. I mean, it's just real talk.
Saw this from our buddy in Cleveland, Hayden Grove. The Guardians, Phillies, Dodgers, and Yankees are the only teams in the majors with at least 30 wins so far.
Nice.
The Yankees payroll $305 million, Phillies $245, Dodgers $228, and Cleveland's $99 million. So that's interesting. Let's see if it keeps going that way. That NBA playoff game last night was fantastic. Neither team had a double-digit lead the entire game. Mm-hmm. Minnesota led at the end of each of the first three quarters and then didn't win the game. And then there were 7 ties in the game, 14 lead changes. So can't wait for game 2 tomorrow. And that's coming after we had a game 1 overtime in the Eastern Conference Finals. So the playoffs are heating up in the NBA, and I love that. Also, LeBron, for the 20th time in his 21-year NBA career, has made an all-NBA team.
You think he's a Hall of Famer?
I think he's got a shot. Maybe not first ballot, but...
second
20
team?
times. He was third team this year, which is still pretty good for an old man. He's the youngest. He is the youngest player to ever be on an All-NBA team, and now the oldest. 20 years old and 39 years
Did he
old.
make it his rookie year or not?
He did not.
Because he didn't also make the All-Star game, and I know that was kind of a
Yeah,
big
he
point.
averaged 20 points a game as a rookie, as an 18-year-old rookie, and probably should have made it, but he did make third team this season. Donovan Mitchell, by the way, made second team All-NBA last year. Probably would have made second team again this year, but you got to play in 65 games, and Donovan played in only 55, and that will hurt him in the pocketbook because if you, let's say you have the
Supermax
$215 million contract, if you make an All-NBA team, that bumps it up to $245 million.
Or if you're like Luka Doncic, his got bumped up a first team to like 347 or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jeez.
And I saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is eligible now for a 4-year, $280 million, $70 million a year. I mean, we're getting close to making $1 million a game.
$70 million a year.
I mean, it's probably more than that when you factor in load management.
Yeah,
so.
when if
100%.
If you only play 70 games,
their PTO days.
Exactly. And also, guys, I'm off my game. I don't have my mojo. How in the heck did I confuse Damon Jones with Ricky Davis
I don't know.
this morning?
They don't look anything alike.
It's like when you were driving home the other day and you forgot to cut up the Lathan Ransom
I know.
sound. Did Shark tell you that?
I had a lot going on that day.
You know what? Leave it for someone else, Shark. You don't need to do it.
Nobody, somebody, anybody.
We provided the entree. Someone else can cut it up. All right? You're not. I don't want you to have to do that.
I agree.
Anymore. I'm not going to keep bringing guys. You know what? I'm not going to bring guys on anymore if they make you cut it up. Someone else can cut that crap up. That's not your job, Shark. We're providing great entertainment, not only for this show, but for the rest.
Did you go back and cut the Connor Stallion stuff from 9 months ago?
Get out of
here. Give me a couple hours and I'll get that done.
Waste of time.
Do you remember what the date was?
I don't. I ignore the hour.
Do you remember what time of our show that we did that?
No. Okay. 7:45 Monday, September 22nd.
Yeah.
How about this? So, what's got me juiced today? Number one, we're going to get to Dan Oberon Martell here in a minute, but got a package from some of my friends over in New York. I went and played in the an event in Long Island at Sewanee Golf Club. And for those of you watching on the stream, make sure you get on YouTube. You can see it. Look at this sweet little golf towel we got here for the New York City Alumni Club.
Nice.
I was like, it didn't even say Ohio State on it, but actually it's Brutus's head as the Statue of Liberty.
Nice.
It's pretty darn sweet. That's got me juiced. Got some other great stuff we'll talk about here in the 8 o'clock hour. Breer coming up. Also, I noticed that on the stream when Shark talks, it shoots him, and it's a very Charles Barkley situation when I was on Get Up one time with him, and he had a TV playing Get Up with him in the back behind him. Shark, you can see yourself through the window and watch yourself on the screen behind you through the door window on the main TV out there.
Can you?
Oh, yeah. I've been watching it. I watched the stream all show.
I don't have the stream up. I have just the chat box.
No,
in
I
a
got the
different
frothy
window.
stream going up. So that's got me juiced. Shark, let's play some Dan Martell to get people fired up.
Oh, I want to start a business, Start by going to the gym. It's the easiest first place. That's why a lot of successful people, they have a foundation of athletics. Working out is the ultimate gateway to success. Teaches you patience, delayed gratification, consistency, pushing past the pain. You can't buy your way to success. And you have to lift. You have to lift to exhaustion. You have to feel pain. It's also a gateway to the mindset. People that are able to show up and keep consistent and work out when they said they'd work out and lift what they said they'd lift. Inspire other people. That just feeds the mind. It reinforces the story that you are the person you've been saying you are. That confidence compounds. Just like your strength will grow, your confidence will grow.
You are the person that you're saying you are. That's got me juiced, Beam.
We are who we think they are.
Go for it, Denny.
The Bears are who they think they are. We let them off the hook.
Yeah.
And if you want to crown them, then crown them. I forget what we were watching in here at NFL Network the other day. They're going through like best playoff games or best Super Bowls.
Oh, they had Vikings. It was the 98.
Vikings, Falcons.
98 NFC Championship. Rothman died a little bit when that came on.
And we saw, and rest in peace, Dennis Green was up there. And I'm like, man, he had the all-timer.
The Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown them. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
I'll never forget that.
We thought
game.
they were a team that had a terrible offense, a great defense, don't give up a special teams touchdown. Couldn't do it.
I want to say 2 special teams touchdowns. I think it was 2 special teams touchdowns and a defensive touchdown. I went to bed. I'll never forget. I went to bed. We lost power during that game because I want to say it was a Sunday night or a Monday night game. We lost power. I went to bed at halftime. I'm like, they're smoked. Wake up the next morning and see like what transpired. And I couldn't believe that.
Neither could Denny.
Yeah, he was pretty upset. What's got me fired up? I'm continuing to watch Shogun. It's really good. It is really, really solid. It's like a Japanese version of Game of Thrones, Bob. So everybody kind of disperses and everything's getting like interwoven. I think you would like it. So I haven't finished up the season. I think I finished episode 4 last night. Again, if you're fine with subtitles and like reading, it's cool because they do it in Japanese, but like there is some English in it. But I don't know if I could recommend it enough. It's one of the better shows I've seen in a while. So that's got me fired up. And then I got a lot of yard work done yesterday too. So I was super pumped that I was able to kind of navigate between the raindrops on that front. Also fired up. The MMQB's Albert Breer. He joins us next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we're watching busy traffic on I-71 as you meet downtown Columbus. Also on 33 over in the Plain City area, but no crashes that we are currently tracking. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan traffic.
Marty Brenneman here for Tri-State Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health for treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues. And they're the leader for a reason, because I can tell you from my own experience of being treated there, Tri-State Men's Health is top shelf. Far too many men wait to get their ED treated, but I want to tell you today that you shouldn't wait any longer. If you're suffering with ED and are like most guys, a medical team at Tri-State Men's Health will get you back on track fast. They have the experience, they have the treatment protocols, and they know what they're doing. At Tri-State Men's Health, they have ED treatments that are effective in well over 90% of men. They can even combine treatments for better results. You might even find yourself performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. They have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you pick up a new pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Bosch Icon wiper blades have up to a 40% longer life than other premium wiper blades. The professional parts people will even install them for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Picture this. You arrive at your hotel. You have an important online meeting lined up with clients from all across the country. You have your laptop open, ready to begin, and the Wi-Fi is so terrible, you can't even connect. These types of stressful situations happen all the time, but they don't have to. When you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you have access to their free high-speed Wi-Fi, so you can take care of those critical emails, join your meetings on time, and even unwind by streaming your favorite shows without having to worry. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Whether it's baseball season, basketball playoffs, or hockey playoffs, experience it live this spring with Vivid Seats. With one of the most reliable rewards programs in the business, Vivid Seats makes it easy to score great deals on great seats with a 100% buyer guarantee. Plus, with Vivid Seats rewards, you can earn with every ticket purchase, including surprise seat upgrades, birthday discounts, free tickets, and more. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Mark the Shark. It's now 16 losses in the last 20 games for the Reds. Luis Arraez had 4 hits, including a home run, as the Padres won in Cincinnati 7-3. Arraez led off the game with the home run off Nick Martinez, who falls to 1-3 on the season. Jamer Candelario homered for the Reds. In Cleveland, Andres Jimenez hit a 3-run homer in the 6th, tying the Guardians and Mets at 3-all. In the 7th, Jonathan Rodriguez's first major league hit was an RBI single that gave Cleveland the lead, and the Guardians went on to beat New York 6-3. They won 6 in a row to up their record to 33-17. In the NBA playoffs, Western Conference Finals, Game 1 went to the Mavericks in Minnesota, 108-105. The Sports Center is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan.
In high school, Bobby was a district swimming finalist. Also, Beamer still wears floaties. This is Morning Juice.
Hour number 3 of the program for us on a Thursday. Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here momentarily, we will be joined by the MMQB's Albert Breer. By the way, you can hop on the YouTube stream. Just go to youtube.com, or you can fire up your app, your YouTube app. Type in 97.1 The Fan, and our live stream is going to appear. Chat's popping this morning. Oh, nice one. We were talking a little bit about what was Damon Jones, and then we figured out it was Ricky Davis there, thanks to the YouTube chat, about him shooting at his own basket and trying to get a rebound. Antonio Brown, chatting a little bit about him. Eclipse says, should be Hall of Famers. Antonio Brown and J.J. Watt, easily Hall of Famers. Yeah, I mean, the stats bear that out.
I think Antonio Brown has a complicated history, though.
He does. And what do they notoriously say? Like, it just matters what you do on the football field.
O.J. Simpson's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but that was after he was already in.
There's a lot of guys who were bad dudes who are in the Hall of Fame. Just like not great humans. But back in the 60s and 70s, like those things were not as widely known and they weren't as publicized. And so people overlook some of that stuff.
Taylor says he went to crutches on his high school reunion, Bobby Carpenter.
Exactly.
That's a nice spot that you've got. Tom said, are we ever going to get that Jameis weekly call-in? Would love to start the day with some morning blessings by Jameis. That's great. I saw Jameis was out there supporting Scotty Scheffler at the PGA Championship, so that was pretty neat. Saw him out there just randomly, just clapping, just in the crowd, hanging out down in Louisville.
Beautiful.
And then Jason said Shogun is amazing. I tend to agree with that. It has been pretty good. So you can hop on the YouTube stream, hop in the chat if you would like. Again, Albert Breer coming up here momentarily.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Sharky just mentioned it to us in our last segment. Wolves had the lead in all three quarters, but the final one. Mavs take game number 1 up in Minnesota. 1-0 series advantage to Dallas. Panthers 3, Rangers nothing. 1-0 to Florida in that one. Couple of games tonight. Oilers at the Stars in the first game of the Western Conference Finals in the AHL Stanley Cup playoffs. That's at 8:30. Pacers at the Celtics, game number 2 tonight at 8 o'clock. Guards sweep the Mets. They're at the Angels tomorrow, 33-17 after 50 games. And the Reds finishing up against the Padres today, home against the Dodgers for a weekend set. They are 20-29 after 49 games. And some Buckeye baseball, too, going on this afternoon in Omaha. The 7th-seeded Buckeye baseball team will take on the 3rd-seeded Indiana
Is that in
Hoosiers.
Omaha?
Yeah, they're down in Omaha.
They're playing in Nebraska.
That's where the Big Ten tournament's at, yeah.
And that's where they play the NCAA. Maybe they're just getting warmed up for the NCAA finals. That's great.
ESPN Columbus starting at 2:55. What is ESPN Columbus, you ask? 1460 AM. And then also our HD2 is where you can find Matty Andrews on the call. That's starting at 2:55 for some Buckeye baseball action in the Big Ten tournament. Right now we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline check with our good friend of the MMQB. He is Albert Breer. Albert, thanks so much for the time. I could feel like the city of Boston, their heart rate was probably around 160 a couple of nights ago against the Pacers. Pacers had that game. They blew it at the end. What's going on, man? Thanks for the time.
Yeah, well, first things first, you caught me a little off guard there too, Beamer. I was like, did we make the College World Series?
Yeah.
So, I thought you might have some good news for me. Yeah, like the other night was unbelievable. I think that's what a lot of people were waiting for was, I think the Celtics have sort of been front runners the last few years. So to see them kind of play like crap and have to fight through it and, see what Jaylen Brown did at the end of the game is unbelievable, no question.
So
there's a ton of pressure on them now, though. I will say that, like, if the minute Denver lost, it was, all right, now they better do it, So there's a lot of pressure on those guys, no question.
So we were having this conversation upon seeing that Antonio Brown has filed for bankruptcy, Albert, and, obviously his post-playing career has been interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
The guy made 4 first-team All-Pros, a second-team All-Pro, yardage leader twice, I think touchdown leader twice. And my qualifications for Hall of Fame are always like there has to be some level of longevity, but for like a 5 to 7 year span, when you're at your prime, were you considered at or near the best at your position in the game? And so when you kind of see that, you look at that and you remember how good he was at points in time. Like, is he a Hall of Famer to you?
Yeah, I think it's the way you describe your criteria is sort of similar to mine, Bobby. Like, and I'm not a voter, but if I had a vote, like my criteria would be you have to be among the very elite at your position for an extended period. And I think he was, there was a time when he might have been the hardest cover in the NFL. And, I look back at it and, he was part of a Super Bowl team very early in his career, was in the playoffs pretty consistently. I think if you take the off-field stuff out of it, then yeah, I don't know that he's like where, like a T.O. or a Moss was before him. But, I think he'd probably be in the next category down, and when you're considering like an Andre Johnson or someone like that, like, is he in that category? I think he probably would be, just based on, again, like, where his peak was. It was way, way up there. So what's so interesting about somebody like him is you're not supposed to consider the off-field stuff, right? Like with a Hall of Fame. So this is the one Hall of Fame where, it's legitimately written in there that this is football only. Like, this isn't about character. This isn't about anything you did off the field. Obviously that's coming to play with guys like Lawrence Taylor. And, I remember somebody making the argument against T.O., and obviously that's a teammate of yours, Bobby, I think this is Gary Myers from the New York Daily News, who who voted against him a few times because he said, well, it was a football thing because he blew up locker rooms. And so I guess this would be sort of in that category. But if you are limiting it strictly to the football, then I think he's a very, very real candidate. Maybe he doesn't get in on the first ballot, but would certainly have to be considered.
He is Albert Breer, the MMQB, with us here in the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Albert, what's going on between Marv and the Fanatics situation? Because I know the Fanatics sued him over the weekend. Any kind of update or behind-the-scenes look as to what that situation's kind of all about?
Do you guys remember, this was the first thing I thought of. You guys remember Tecmo Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Where, I think it was Randall Cunningham and Jim Kelly. They were just QB Bills and QB Eagles, right? So I guess Marv is going to be wide receiver Cardinals now on Madden, right? This is an interesting one. They've definitely, Marv and his dad have done things a little bit differently. Obviously, they handled the pre-draft process a lot differently, and I think that this is part of it for them, has been questioning every little thing that's almost automatic for a lot of players, and licensing and everything else. And so, there's obviously the more narrow issue of the agreement to do the autographs, right? That, I think is going to come down to what's in the contract. But then, there's the broader issue of, how he's going to handle the business side of the game. And I think, what's more interesting about this whole thing, and, I can't imagine the Fanatics thing's going to drag out over years or anything like that. I assume they'll settle it at some point. Because, for maybe as much as anything else, I'm not sure Michael Rubin wants to go to war with a star athlete, based on what his business is. I think the more interesting thing is the broader thing, how, this is Marvin Harrison again, sort of challenging the norms of how you enter into the NFL. He already did it from a football standpoint with how he handled his run up to the draft, and now it seems like he's doing the same sort of thing from a business standpoint.
Albert, we've talked about this on here, and you've kind of outlined it. They went to 17 games. That was the NFL's movement. And the more I always see of rumors of something and more owners commenting on it, coaches, that means to me the more it's being realistically discussed. I just saw something with John Mara talking about not being crazy about 18 games, but most owners are in favor of it. It seems now a matter of more when than if. Yeah. When do you see that transpiring?
Yeah, a lot of times, Bobby, I think that it's, a lot of times I think once they start talking about it, it's already done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once they become very, very public about it, I'm with you. I just think I think that's sort of when they know they're gonna find a way. A couple interesting things here. Before the owners had the ability to unilaterally extend the season within that 20-game structure, right? And it's BS, and everybody knows it, but they talk about it as if we're just taking a preseason game and turning it into a regular season game.
Yeah.
When everybody knows it's not the same thing, right? They'll be we're just taking a bad product and turning it into a good product. And not, obviously not giving deference to the mileage it puts on players' bodies and, the length of the season and what that could mean for players' longevity and all the rest of it. So that's one piece of it. I think, there are the two things. The players have to sign off on it. So, what do the players ask for in return? If I'm the players, I think the thing that makes the most sense is finding ways to allow more free player movement as a result of this. Let's get players to free agency after 3 years, right? And let's maybe take some of the restrictions off in free agency so guys can make more money while they're still playing. If you're going to hurt my ability to last in the league by extending the season, then you got to do more to allow me to make money while I'm in the league. I think that's the way I would look at that part of it if I was a player. The other thing that's, sort of interesting here, and here's where I think you kind of got to pay attention to what happens with the NBA television contracts. The NFL has outs in their TV contracts in 28 and 29. And now, with Netflix involved, with
Amazon, baby.
Involved, with Amazon involved, with all of this, right? All of these different companies are involved now. And, you see what's happening in the NBA. If the NBA really knocks these TV negotiations out of the park, does the NFL now opt out in 28 and 29 and try to redo the television deals completely and just send those things to the moon? And one way you would do that is by putting another game on the table, So I certainly think that the owners are going to push this. And generally, one thing I've learned in almost 20 years covering the league is, once the train starts rolling down those tracks, there's usually no stopping it.
Albert, before we get you out of here, obviously Justin Fields leaving the Bears. He goes to the Steelers. They also bring in Russell Wilson on a $1 million a year deal. I mean, any anticipation for Justin to be starting some games, meaningful, consequential games in the regular season for Pittsburgh this year?
I personally think there's a chance it happens because I'll put it this way. I know the head coach there, Mike Tomlin, the offensive coordinator there, Arthur Smith. I just think how do I put this? I think Justin Fields is a better personality match for them than Russell Wilson is.
Mr. Unlimited?
What are you talking about? He's unlimited.
Yeah, so, I mean, you guys know Justin, right? And, if there's any of the stuff that you had in Denver, any of the elements of his team being involved with anything, or any of the elements of playing the PR game, or any of that stuff, if there's any of that stuff going on, and he struggles, or, you see some of the problems that he had in Denver and they're not getting better, it's going to be very easy for those coaches to look over at Justin Fields and see a kid who is doing everything the right way, who is a great teammate, who will allow you creatively to do some things offensively that maybe you can't do with Russell Wilson anymore. And I just take you guys back to 2022. They went through training camp, and the first two quarterbacks on that roster for all of training camp were Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. And the whole thing is we're redshirting Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett was a starter by week 4. So, I just think, you look at, all the pieces of the situation, I think they're going to give Russell Wilson every chance to hold on to that job. But I would not rule out, the idea that we get somewhere in July and August, and now all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, Justin Fields is taking snaps out there with the ones. I just think because of the personality match, obviously the upside and everything else, it's not something to be dismissed this early.
Albert, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Best of luck in Game 2 tonight against Indiana, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too. There he goes, our good friend Albert Breer with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. A couple of conferences, including the NCAA, have already agreed to settle the House deal. We'll do that next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we're not tracking any major closures across your interstates and no crashes here in central Ohio. We are watching busy traffic on the southeast side near Canal Winchester, also on I-71 near Polaris. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steckerwald with your fan traffic.
When you ask people here, what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler? For some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing. It's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 3 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Are you confident letting just anyone on the roof of your home? I'm Craig Schottenstein, owner of Schottenstein Roofing. Our team is dedicated to delivering outstanding value on every roof we repair or replace. Schottenstein Roofing. Go to schottensteinroofing.com.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and get you back on the road in less time than it takes to get over from the express lane to the exit ramp. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spending the money to replace our home's windows is rarely something we get excited about. We usually do it because our energy bills suck or our current windows, well, they're too messed up. But in working with the local Pella Columbus team, my eyes have been opened. New windows can legitimately change the entire look of your home. They've got windows in colors and styles like I've never seen, and they can change everything. So go see my friends at PellaColumbus.com or check them out at their brand new Polaris showroom.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Low Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Low Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Low Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiberbusiness.com today. Glow Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are tracking a mix of clouds and sun out there today. We will be looking at some non-severe thunderstorms today. Temperatures get up to about 79 today. Tonight we drop back down to about 65. Tomorrow look for partly sunny skies with highs in the lower 80s. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The hardest part of your workday is over. You've managed to get out of your fart sack.
Attention campers, lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
This is Morning Juice.
Here's Law here, Thursday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. The NCAA Board of Governors follow the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the ACC in voting to settle the House v. NCAA and related antitrust cases. What does that mean? Well, basically, there was a $4 billion lawsuit against the NCAA. They're coming to negotiating terms. And over the next 10 years, they're going to have to pay over $2.7 billion back to student athletes. That's just the way of the world. That's the way that we're going, Bob. With those votes formalized, the path is underway to forge a new era in college sports. Only the SEC and the Pac-12 remain to approve the settlement, and they are scheduled to vote on Thursday. So that would be today. I would imagine that that's going to get done because the Big Ten voted yesterday to approve that. The ACC presidents voted in person in Charlotte at their meetings on Tuesday. The Big 12 presidents and chancellors voted on Tuesday as well. The settlement is widely expected to pass, which will chart a new course for college sports and establishing a framework for schools to share millions of dollars with their athletes in the future and create a fund of more than $2.7 billion. That is billion with a B, to pay former athletes who are not allowed to sign name, image, and likeness deals. So the way that I'm reading that, I know they're going to have to pay that $2.7 billion over the course of the next 10 years. But the way that I'm reading that, Bob,
says for past
$2.7 billion to pay former athletes who were not allowed to sign name, image, and likeness deals. I mean, that means that anybody and everybody up until a couple of years ago that weren't able to do that would be a part of this lawsuit settlement.
Yeah, I think I forget what the time horizon is. I don't qualify for it, but I think you're talking about your boy Michael Bennett. I think he's got
to be super pumped.
Trying to look in the couch cushions there, see what's rolling around for him. I saw this Ross Dellinger tweet out, who's used to be at SI, now at Yahoo. Does a great job. Been on the program actually as well. He said in 2021, the NCAA argued before the Supreme Court against sharing $6,000 of benefits with athletes. 3 years later, it's moving toward a rev sharing model that will pay athletes $15 billion in a decade. It's the biggest change in the history of college sports. It's funny. One of the comments, like, if only they would have listened to the smart people in 2021. Like Gene Smith was advocating for this to hey.
In 2018, 2019.
Let's try to move this way. But like I said, the smaller schools and conferences, the smaller conferences like the Horizon, Patriot League, schools that are D1 in basketball, not in football, they were the ones that were dragging their feet and fighting this because this doesn't fit us. It's not our model. And this was the inherent problem with the NCAA is you have 300 some odd schools. And there's 130 of them play Division I football, and really it's about half of those, not even, that compete at this crazy high level. So why are they making decisions based upon this? And so you hampered these decisions on a small level, and now you got to come deal with the big problems, and the chickens have come home to roost now, Beam. And that's the problem.
Chickens have come home to roost, Bobby Boucher.
They have, Mr. Bobby Boucher.
This is awesome. So I'm on Ross's article now. So in the spring of 2021, attorneys for the NCAA be appearing before the U.S. Supreme Court argued vehemently against providing each college athlete with additional cash annually. The amount, $5,980 per student athlete.
Yeah, they're going to pay a little more than that now.
Ooh.
Well, hey, listen, Beam. Make bad decisions. They couldn't see this coming. The problem was...
They could see it coming. That's the issue.
Could they?
We did.
Here's the problem. Usually we did, but if you turn your back to it, then you won't see it. If you're on a beach, you might think that you'd see the tidal wave, but if you're looking back at the land because you, for some reason, are hanging on the beach and you didn't come there to see the ocean view and you're looking inland, the tsunami is going to swallow you up. Which is what I feel like a lot of people did. Hey, if I don't know it's coming and I just ignore it, it won't happen.
It's like if I shut my windows and my grass is growing crazy, it's not even a problem to me.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, it'll eventually die, right? The winter will come. It'll go dormant.
Winter is coming.
And that's the solution. So you're telling me the solution is not to cut it and wait till it goes dormant? Or maybe one of my neighbors will cut it. But if I don't see it growing...
Maybe somebody will call the city on me and they'll bring out their mowers.
Yeah, send me a bill.
Happens in our neighborhood all the time.
Of course. The past being... This is why I always love going back into the past. Nostalgia is a great thing. But, some people fail to look at that and understand, hey, there are changes that are being made. The financial model is very different now. And so... they need to adapt with it, as a lot of these people in higher education, they're dinosaurs and they've never had to change anything.
I almost wonder if you were to go not back in time, but how quickly, if it was that same exact scenario today.
Well, yeah, would you have taken it? Would you have...
how quickly would they say yes?
If you were the pizza owner that took 100 Bitcoin in pizza?
100, Coach, we're talking about 10,000 Bitcoin.
Whatever
the
it
other
was.
day.
It was going to, it's like 70.
That's one of the crazier stories of all time. Guy calls up, says, let me get 2 pizzas. I don't have cash to pay you, but I have these thing called Bitcoin. Okay, what are they worth? Nothing right now. Well, in today's value...
Those are like magic beans.
They really were. No one knows what they were. Nobody really knows what they are anyways. And so in today's value, now that would be upwards of $700 million.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the most expensive pizza of all time.
If you could go back, by the way, speaking of going back in time, I saw this yesterday.
And I go back in time.
I'm pretty excited about it. There's an official trailer that just dropped for Rothman, I know is probably juiced. And that's why he hates sci-fi, but I think he watches Stranger Things just to get a ride back to the 80s.
Yeah.
There's a trailer that dropped for an 80s indie throwback film, Shark. It's called All Is Fine in 89.
Nice.
And this looks sweet. It's
Wine and Dine in 89?
It's basically, it's like a kind of a 16 Candles type deal, I feel like, just watching this trailer. And I was super juiced about it.
What is it? Just a nostalgia piece?
Yeah, it's a period piece from 89 of it kind of reminds me like 16 Candles Off the Trailer. Like, I don't know if it's like a party one night and the things around it and what's going on. I mean, I'm here for it. Like, that's the stuff that I love.
Shark, do you have a favorite decade that you've lived through? I mean, if you recant all the way back through all the decades you've lived through, do you have a favorite one that stands out?
The
more?
70s.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a product of the 70s.
I smoke weed.
I like the music of the 70s.
Of course you do.
I like, I wouldn't say the
Break on
movies.
through to the other side.
Jimmy.
That's right.
The movies probably weren't the best in the 70s. Man,
they had a lot of John Wayne back then. My dad sure
not
loved
the 70s so much.
The 60s?
Yeah.
But you got fat old Elvis in the 70s.
Yes, we did.
But I say old meaning my age.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked like
I mean,
he
the guy
was
died at 42, but...
It's so crazy. That would be 41 this year. I looked at Elvis, I'm like, that dude had to be 65 years old when he passed away. He looked close. Now, his face looked good, but gosh, he was so bloated and swollen. Oh, gosh, it's brutal.
I don't know. The 70s had some pretty good movies in here.
There's some solid ones.
The Halloween series
Star Wars came out in the 70s.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Godfather came out in the 70s.
Yes,
When was Rollerball?
70 and 72. You had One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Was Rollerball the 80s? My dad said that was the great movie.
The original would have been in the 70s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, James Caan.
James Caan.
75.
Jonathan. John, I told you, that was my dad, the sport of the future, which, I mean, he always thought they would get more violent. Ironically, the NFL is getting less violent 50 years later. But I've told you, Shark, I've told the story a million times, and I'll tell it. Do we have a guest next?
No.
Okay, I'm going to tell that story next, Beam, because it's really a great one. For a guy that played 10 years in the NFL and, like, made his living, I've got a couple of great things about my dad that I feel like I'm turning into Bo now. Because there's some great stuff about him and what's going on. So we'll get into that next, dude.
You'll transform into Uncle Bo coming up. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Thursday to you. Right now, we're not tracking any major issues across your central Ohio roadways. Watching busy traffic on I-71 as you come into downtown Columbus and on I-70 as you come in from the west side this morning. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love. Because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Tri-State Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the stuff outdoors you love, the stuff you want to do, the hiking, the running, the playing on the beach. It's being around friends and family. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. If you're tired of achy joints, you need to call my friends over at QC Kinetics before you agree to any risky surgeries or steroids or harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country did, just like me with my knee. My dad did with his knee. Some of our friends and family who have done it with knees and shoulders and a variety of joints. They're out walking around now, enjoying the time outside. Or you could be like a guy like Chad, who wants to live life to the fullest, but his knees have been bothering him. He's been on pain meds forever. He went to crutches on his high school reunion, but that was before he found QC Kinetics, and now he's bouncing around like the pain is gone. And QC Kinetics has a national director in Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, who's been doing this for over 20 years. So go check him out at 614-208-4544. That's 614-208-4544.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
It was a quiet night in Columbus, maybe a little too quiet. Me, Philip Flapper, plumbing detective. I was finishing up for the night when she walked in. Long hair, 2 legs. A couple of arms, a nose, elbows. Pretty standard equipment for this neighborhood. I looked at her, she looked at me, and then we did that thing where we both spoke at the same time. What can I do for you? I'm sorry, that was awkward. We went on to talk about clogs, funny odors, water going down the drain too slow. This is above my pay grade, I told her, and gave her this website, apexpros.com. They're the pros who knows, the kinds of plumbers who don't mind getting their hands dirty. And believe me, what's down those pipes is dirty. Ugh. Call the pros, Apex Pros. And that was it. She walked out of my life, using those legs I told you about earlier.
Hi, it's Alex, the friendly Apex Bear from Apex Pros. Apex plumbers are the pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
One of these guys thinks Clintonville was named after Bill Clinton. You're listening to Morning Juice.
That's real. That is real, though, correct?
I think it is. I don't know how we get to these depths of the internet, but apparently Kyler Murray back in 2020 posted a picture of Brittany Griner and said, "Great playing with you. Hall of Fame career." Larry Fitzgerald underneath of it goes, "That's not me."
Well, obviously, it's a picture of Brittany Griner.
Come on, man.
And you're telling me I didn't want to talk about it. I was like, I don't know if that's real, but
yeah, I mean, there's articles on it.
People have written about it, then I'm guessing it is real. It's obviously
awesome.
been deleted.
That's great. Shark's favorite decade is the 70s. What is yours? The 90s? Yours got to be the 90s.
Yeah, I like the 80s though too.
You're a
like
90s baby.
I was more like, I grew up more in the 90s.
So I grew up in. I was born in 1992, so I grew up in the 90s, but more so sentient thoughts came
2000s.
in the 2000s.
Yeah, that's when I graduated high school in 2002, but like my formative years were the 90s. But I always loved the 80s, and maybe it's my parents. They probably enjoyed the 80s a lot as well. But that was always my deal. It's like we'd watch Rollerball. I thought that was the 80s with James Caan. That was the 70s. Mm-hmm. And so my dad, he would always have us watch these old movies. I mean, the best part is my son goes back there now, and my son watches these movies with him.
Escape from Alcatraz, the 70s, that's a really good movie.
Yeah, there's some good ones. And so Rollerball was it with James Caan. And my dad always told me, I remember being vividly watching this with him when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, let's say 91 or 92. And my dad was like, football. I'm like, I can't wait till they let me play football, which wasn't until I was 13. But he's like, football, by the time you're my age, no one will be playing football. He's like, rollerball, that's the game of the future.
The one with motorcycles?
It'll be countries against where you're killing people on rollerblades. I think I just got rollerblades for Christmas that year. I was in second grade or something.
He's training you on the rollerblades
and that's what,
to be a rollerball star.
And he's like, Jonathan, and he goes, it won't be teams against teams, it'll be countries against countries. As if it was some sort of Hunger Games style Olympics is basically what it was. And they made a new one since then, but he liked the old one.
I watched the new one, and I remember it being pretty crazy.
It is. Well, because, they were killing people out there. People are dying. They just pull them off.
Stone the lead ball and bashing people's heads.
Yes. It's kind of like hockey. You have to get it into the deal. And my dad always said he named my younger brother Jonathan off of James Caan character Jonathan in the show, which they're chanting at the end when he wins. And, so I'm like, he had all these crazy things. And he would say, and he would always, my dad growing up, he'd always give me these great points. We have motivational slogans like tape to our mirror. And ironically, I remember all these growing up. And he's gave my kids a lot of those since then. So hopefully some of this is going to them. But I was, that was big on discipline, self-reliance, all these traits that like everybody I ever talked to growing up. But we would go, to different, go to Miami, Ohio, or we'd go to different things. I'd see his former teammates who were coaching or coaches who coached him. Like, hey, your dad was one of the hardest workers ever. Before practice, after practice, no one would outwork him, toughest guy around. And so I'm like working out with my daughter the other day, and she's like, I'm trying to get her to go. Like, it was great at the end, but she's resistant to it at the beginning. Sometimes my oldest son, RJ, I'm like, hey, the secret to success is just outwork people every day. Mm-hmm. Just do a little more than everybody all the time, the best you can, and you'll figure it out. Like, things will generally work out for you. So I'm like trying to tell my daughter, why do I need to do this? Why do I need to do that? Grandpa says, you just need to be happy in life. And I'm like, what is that? And I haven't talked to my dad since then. Like, just be happy in life. I go, you know why Grandpa
Where is that coming from?
100%. That was never a message to us growing up. Just be happy. Do what feels good. That was never it.
He's getting soft.
Getting soft. I go, you know why Grandpa says that? Because Grandpa is happy because he gets to live the exact life that he's wanted to live. I go, he had like 2 goals growing up. And there was 3 things. See, I used to listen to him go talk to groups. He'd bring me. He's like, there's 3 things I wanted to be.
He really is like Uncle Bo.
He really is. He's like, I wanted to either be, and this is it, I wanted to be, and he grew up like in the city part of Lancaster. Like, he didn't have a big yard or anything. He played football in the street. And he's like, I wanted to play in the NFL. I wanted to be an astronaut, or I wanted to be a forest ranger. They were kind of all over the map, scattershot in those things. And he's like, so I'd try to do something. He kept his green notebook. I would do something every day and write down what I did. And see, after a while, I realized I probably wasn't smart enough to be an astronaut. He's like, I'm growing up watching John Glenn and stuff like that. And it's like, forest ranger, that seemed good. He's like, but football is another thing. Like, I could always just kind of work and figure out, things might work out. And I'm like, McLean, he was able to do that. He got to college because of that. That paid for his school. And the other thing, he's like, I just wanted to be a football player, then, teach and coach high school football. And I'm like, and he got to do all those things for like 40 some years in totality. And now he's retired. He's set up pretty well. He always wanted to have land. He's got his farm that he's grown up on. His 4 boys are moderately successful. Like, none of us go back asking him for money or have severe substance abuse problems. So like, he can probably sleep fairly easily at night. He's got 11 grandkids. So yeah, he's happy. He's retired in life. But you don't get to that point without doing all the work to get there. I go, he left out the main part. He just gave you the icing. He just gave you the dessert at the end. He didn't tell you what you got to eat along the way, eating those turd sandwiches every day for breakfast until you get to that point. It's like, just be happy. Get out of here.
Dad, you can't say that.
Tell my kids that nonsense. Just be happy.
What if his dad would have said that to you when you were growing up?
Grandpa, are you kidding me? Grandpa, my dad's dad was awesome. Now I know why he was the way he was. And my grandpa, he told me when he quit smoking cigarettes, he's like, and he was, a foreman for a glass company here, put a lot of windows in high rises. And my dad, after he graduated, they moved out to New Lax. They lived on the house on the land where we still have now in Perry County. And so he'd drive up to Columbus every day to work. He goes, I used to smoke, and everybody smoked back then. Both my grandparents smoked, grandfathers, and my mom's dad quit when he was a little bit younger. And my grandpa was like, I realized I'd smoke a pack today on the way to work. I'd smoke 2 packs while I was working. I'd smoke a pack on the way home. And he goes, I'm going in, I'm meeting with our GC, my boss, and I'm the superintendent or whatever running this job site. And he goes, I smoked a whole pack of cigarettes in the meeting. He goes, I'd smoked the pack that was supposed to be designated for the way home. He goes, you know what? I think I'm smoking too much. And he's like, after that, I quit. And I was like, okay, like, that sounds good. Like, that was but I'm like, you were smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day? Like, we never thought that was a bit excessive.
Well, it was supposed to be healthy for you back then.
Well, I guess kept you working, a little nicotine juice you up.
Yeah, sure.
But he was just a unique beast with that. And so my dad's like, the most conversation I ever had with my grandpas would, they'd buy houses, fix them up. He's like, I'd have to hold the 2x4s while he was putting them in place. And like, while he was, screwing in pipe or whatever. He's like, that was my job to be the material guy. He's like, those were going there. So he wants to be the fun grandpa and all these things now.
And he's earned that right.
But I'm like, don't tell my kids just to be happy. That's not it. Because I'm not dealing with those problems. You'll be dead and in the ground, and I'll be the one that's got to deal with the mess of their life when you have provided them no level of discipline or guardrails or pathways how to get to that point. Like, okay, have your joy in your faith, and I get that, and like, we're going to work, and we're going to grind at things, and we're going to utilize our God-given abilities the best that we can, and that's how we're going to have success. Meanwhile, you're talking about doing whatever you want. My son's birthday was Monday, and they didn't even call him. They had a flower sale for something for my mom's Master Gardener crap. And I'm like, we didn't call our grandson. So don't give me that nonsense.
I remember, speaking of like being
too tired, Master Gardeners.
So you said your dad would help your grandpa out, like building stuff. So one summer, I didn't get great grades in school, to say the least. I think in middle school, I had flunked a science class. So
Looks like Western Kentucky.
I had it was looking like no college at that point.
Sinclair, baby.
I got way better. The 330 out of 660 where I graduated high school was way better than what it was in middle school. So I got my act together.
You got your head above water.
I did. Oh, well, I was like right at water level. And one summer I failed a science class. God knows what my mom said to me after that report card came home. It was pretty bad. And so I spent a whole summer rebuilding our basement with my stepdad.
Nice.
Yeah, I got grounded for an entire summer. He's like, hey, I would ask him like, hey, I mean, I know I've been doing this for like the last like 5 weeks. Can I like go hang out with my friends? And he was like, well, the next time you get a report card, if there's like a B or better, then you'll be able to hang out with your friends. Had all B's the rest.
There you go.
Like my last year in 8th grade. Then we went back to C's in high school. And then when I realized when I got to college and I was paying for it, then my grades became really good. Because I'm like, why would I waste my money and my time
100%
in college when I realized that I'm having to pay for all of this stuff? We're going to reveal our fan poll next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Right now, we're not watching any major crashes across your central Ohio interstates. We are seeing traffic pick up on 33 near the Plain City area. Also on 23 as you approach 270 on the south side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steyerwald with your fan traffic.
Have you heard? There's always more at Speedway, like a big bite hot dog and big gulp drink for only $2.50. We've got what you're in the mood for, and now you can get more with less. Get your big meal deal for only $2.50 with Speedy Rewards. Valid through 1/7/25. Speedway has the right to end this promotion early, plus tax. Participating U.S. stores only. See app for full terms. All rights reserved.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road faster than it takes for your fancy designer half-calf, heavy cream, no-whip, mocha latte to get cold. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. So give your friends something to look at and make this a summer to share and save. With a capable Kia SUV like the Sorento, Sportage, Seltos, or Telluride, or a powerful sedan like the fun-to-drive Forte, each backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. And for a limited time, get 1.9% APR for 48 months for well-qualified buyers and $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged 2024 Sportage and Sorento models. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Financing for 24 to 48 months from Kia Finance, subject to credit approval for purchase of a new 2024 Sportage or Sorento. Excludes hybrids and PHEVs. $21.65 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged models must be applied as down payment. Must take delivery by 7/8/24. Limited inventory. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See retailer for details.
Ah, the sweet sounds of spring. Baseball, birds, and the glorious hum of a freshly tuned AC system. Don't sweat it. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling Team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
Now at UDF, buy 3 everyday favorites with UDrive Plus to quickly stack an extra 20 cents in gas savings. That includes Monster Energy and Red Bull and Gatorade and Body Armor. And that adds up. UDF, made for you. Specially marked products with an opted-in UDrive account.
Do you subscribe to the Fan's YouTube channel? Well, why not? Catch our best interview, Stupid Man and Bone videos, and live video of our shows as they happen.
You can participate in your neighborhood watch.
Search 971 The Fan and subscribe today.
Hey, it's Bobby. When you have a large investment like a new roof, you want to work with a company you can trust. One with 30 years of experience and hundreds of 5-star Google reviews, 0 complaints with the BBB. That's Newman Roofing. So go check them out at newmanroofing.com or give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF.
The Sign and Drive Green Tag event continues, offering 0% for 84 months with no money down on a John Deere compact utility tractor with loader. Limited time offer. Visit your local Ag Pro today. Offer ends May 31st, 2024. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and the playoff action is here. And there isn't a more rewarding sportsbook in the game than Tipico. Get ready to bet on the biggest games of the year, the playoff basketball, the hockey, the actions every night. You want to make the most of every game? You've got to bet with Tipico. You'll get up to 5% cash back on your bets. Claim your new sign-up bonus now and get $150 in protected bets when you deposit $100. Sign up now. Enter the promo code TheFan150 to get your bonus. Download the Tipico Sportsbook app today. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Progressive knows when you own a boat, life on land is a tough sell.
Come on down to Land, where you can do things like clean your gutters, pay tolls, and even get the wrong thing you ordered. We got it all. Potholes, people talking at the movies, and don't forget about flat tires when it's raining. It's Land.
Life on a boat is way more relaxing, so customize your coverage with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. And relax, knowing you got the coverage you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit. Credit for deciding while stuck in traffic to get a bachelor's degree. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. Students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. Plus, get your application fee waived through May 31st. Flexible online and hybrid classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are tracking a mix of clouds and sun out there today. We will be looking at some non-severe thunderstorms today. Temperatures get up to about 79 today. Tonight we drop back down to about 65. Tomorrow look for partly sunny skies with highs in the lower 80s. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you make a wisecrack about Dayton pizza, Beamer will murder you dead.
Humor. I have it too.
This is Morning Juice.
We are the Juicer, brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can, of course, visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com. Uncle Bo and the boys going to be up after we're done. Coming up at 10:33, the great Timmy May. They will digress. He will digress them coming up at 10:33. He usually joins them on Friday. I wonder what Tim's doing this weekend.
I don't know. Is there a big race somewhere?
The big race happening to be the Indy 500 is happening this weekend. So maybe he's going to Indianapolis Motor Speedway tomorrow. It's a great point, Bob. It's a great point.
I'm guessing that's where he's going to be.
Yeah, it's the trifecta of racing, always on Memorial Day weekend. So you start with F1 in the morning over at Monaco, and then like mid-afternoon you have the Indy 500, and then later at night, I don't know how many miles they run, but they always race in Charlotte. And so Kyle Larson, who is competing more of a NASCAR driver, he actually qualified, I want to say like top 6 maybe for the Indy 500, but he's doing both. So he's doing the Indy 500 and he's doing Charlotte later on in the day.
All right, Beam, for tomorrow,
yeah,
I'm going to need the Eric Cantona Englishman speech.
Okay.
That's going to be part of it.
It might be in here.
It might be in there, but someone probably wrote over it. So let's just make sure that that's there.
Okay, I'll send that to Shark. Are you talking about the one where he's talking about wars
the
and
Wanton
flies
Boys
and the Wanton Boys? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send that to Shark. Why, he's got a birthday coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Shark, also, we've got Bob Dylan, Patty LaBelle.
I like how we're just doing these names just on air.
If you don't listen at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're going to want to go back and watch Today in History, because this is where you get all the good stuff. Put the pen out of your mouth, Shark, and start writing this stuff down.
It's not a pen. It's a straw. It's a coffee stirrer.
Okay.
We're going to wait till after the show.
No, because I'm leaving, because I've got to go to my son's graduation, so I'm walking straight up out of here.
Nice.
Yeah, my wife told me about that last
Middle school graduation?
Yeah, 8th grade. So they told me about that
What time?
I started at 8:30, so I got that going for me. Said, do you think I could?
If we would have known that, we would have done something for the last half hour to get you out of here and over there.
I didn't find out about it until last night at about 9 o'clock. So that's the life that I'm living.
When did they start doing middle school graduation?
Well, it's like a walk, like a clap out deal, and they have like a video. It's not like walking up and giving them. Believe me, I'm not for all the celebratory nonsense. But
yeah, you told
you're going to high school.
You told your dad to stop telling your daughter just to be happy.
Yeah, it's celebrating meaningless events in life. But this is, you're going to high school, you want to do a clap out, keep it small.
That's a big one.
Whatever it is. So I'm going to try to race over there and get to see it. my wife's like, I'm like, was that in the calendar? She's like, no. I go, well, when I asked you what we had this week on Sunday night, you don't think that would have been a pertinent information to give me as opposed to Wednesday night at 9:15 when we're laying in bed? Like, what am I supposed to do with that information now? Like, I'm not going to, I got to figure some things out, playing some stuff, but regardless. So, Shark, we've got Patty LaBelle, Joe Dumars, Rich Rod, John C. Riley.
Nice.
How about that? There's going to be some nice ones. Tracy McGrady, too. Bob Dylan.
T-Mac. If he didn't have that back injury, would be considered one of the greatest scorers of all time.
And a special one for you, Tommy Chong.
Ooh.
Notes under that I have, Shark's boy.
I think he's got some sort of edibles now. I keep getting some sort of that redirected like ads on Twitter.
All in my timeline.
Tommy
Chong's, what do I search that gives me this?
Yeah, edible mushrooms.
I'm not searching for your gummies or weed or anything else. Why is this all just up in my timeline?
I am, so it makes sense why it's in my algorithm.
Maybe it's because they hear us talk to Shark all the time, and maybe that's where it comes from.
How's your plants coming along? All right,
where's Tommy Chong? You watch and see. He'll live to be 100.
Dude, I mean, all these people. Willie Nelson's still alive.
Willie Nelson's 93?
93, 94. His birthday was, earlier this year. Who else? Oh, Frankie Valli's still alive. And we were talking about this. My mother-in-law wanted to really see him like 15 years ago. And I mean, if you would have told me that Frankie Valli was dead, like if I didn't do Today in History, I would have known. I go, but his birthday's been in the last 6 weeks. And it's like May 3rd, I want to say, but he turned like 90-something, still alive. I think he still sings occasionally too. It's remarkable.
What does that have to do with smoking weed?
I don't know. I'm sure Frankie Valli smokes weed.
No,
all those entertainers
he's
do.
All clean.
I don't know, man. I watch Walk the Line. Johnny Cash made it look like everybody was doing drugs back then.
Speaking of that, can you get the John C. Riley cut for tomorrow? It's the Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. Have you ever seen that? It's like a play on Walk the Line.
I was hoping you'd get some maybe Boogie Nights for him. That's
Tim,
his real jam.
I forget the actor's name. Tim
Meadows?
Yeah, Tim Meadows is in it. And he's talking to Dewey Cox, and they're smoking in like a broom closet, and he walks in there as John C. Riley. He's like, "What is it?" He's like, "You don't want this, Dewey. You want no part of it." He's like, "Is it addictive? No. Does it make me feel bad the next day? No." And he's like going through all of it. He's like, "I don't know, man. It sounds like I want it." Get that tomorrow for John C. Riley, because that's pretty good.
It's not actually John C. Riley?
It is John C.
Okay.
It is John C. Riley. Yeah, it is. It is
portraying. It's like a spoof on Walk the Line.
He's playing like a
Johnny Cash.
He's playing like a Johnny Cash character, and it's a spoof movie.
Walk Hard.
Yeah, the Dewey Cox story. It's pretty good, Shark. I think that you would enjoy it. I'm trying to think too. I don't know if I hold the 90s or 2000s in more of a higher regard. I don't know. I think probably the 2000s for me.
Yeah, I would say it's interesting. Like 2000s was the beginning of my NFL career, like college, high school. I have more nostalgia, I think, probably to the 90s, like mid 90s. I was in high school. Like when you first start driving, you always remember a lot of that stuff. Like the songs that are going on, cool breeze in your hair, cool waves and a tasty buzz.
Ruining computers on LimeWire, downloading all kinds of good stuff on there.
Yeah.
That was in the 2000s for me.
Those were the gems.
Yeah, Gucci Mane mix. Just plenty of good stuff on there. Today's fan poll before we get out of here at 971thefan.com or on Twitter at 971thefan. The Reds lighting the world on fire, 20-29 after 49 games. Where will they finish the season in the NL Central? First place, 1-9 games back. They're currently 8, 10-19 games back, or 20-plus games back.
Ooh, I'm going to say 10 games back.
All right, I'm going to say 1-9. I think that they're going to be better, hopefully, in the second half of the season. But hope is not a strategy, as we know. Bob, I had so much fun today. What do you say we reconvene tomorrow on a big Friday if they allow us?
Let's do it, sir.
Everybody have a great day. Uncle Bo and the boys are up next. We're back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to break everything down. Have a good one. Talk to you then. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, no crashes to let you know about, but we are watching busy traffic on I-71 as you approach downtown Columbus. Also on the west side on I-70, approaching the 270 loop. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
This is a fan action update.
This action update is brought to you by Tipico. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Guardians have now won 6 in a row and are tied for the third most wins in Major League Baseball this year. Updating Cleveland's season betting odds. Cleveland is minus 105 to win the AL Central, 11 to 1 to win the AL, which is the 7th best odds, and 30 to 1 to win the World Series, which is the 10th best odds. For your Tipico action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
When you come to Diamonds Direct, we know it's always the start of a celebration, an engagement, your wedding day, honoring a lifetime of love, searching for that special birthday gift for the one you love the most, and all the celebrations in between. That's why we've curated a shopping experience to match your excitement. You walk into a beautiful showroom with experts eager to help, or if you prefer, just explore on your own as long as you like. At Diamonds Direct, we've taken pressure out of the process. Our experts are cheerful and engaging. We'll help you on your terms with your price range when you're ready. We've made it easy by offering virtually unlimited options. With everything in our showcase being handpicked for its beauty and quality, you can't go wrong. You are guaranteed to get the best value because we are the value leader, and you have confidence in knowing you are protected with our lifetime warranties and guarantees. Diamonds Direct's experience is designed with our goal of creating not just a happy moment, but a magical one. So you leave smiling just like you came in. Diamonds Direct, for your best moments in life. Get store hours and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Bobby Carpenter here for Affinity Whole Health, the leader in the testosterone and hormone replacement therapy game. And weight loss too, that's right. Affinity offers semaglutide injections for weight loss in addition to their testosterone treatments so you can lose weight and build muscle. They customize a plan directly for you. They added peptides to my TRT. They've added semaglutide with my friend's testosterone, and the results are amazing. They're pumped about summertime and pool season, so check them out at feelgreatcolumbus.com. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's My Computer